saw your face in the candlelight across the room, and I wanted to know, yeah, I wanted to know, well, I'm anxious to know if you dance with me. Put on those dancing shoes, grab my hand, let's dance, let's get this ballroom rocking tonight. Clear the floor so we can do this right. We will dance till we got holes in our souls. Let's get this ballroom rocking tonight till the moon fades out and the sun's inside. We will dance till we hear a hello, are you doing alright? I am doing just fine. I could dance all night. Did you come alone? I just want you to know you don't have to be alone if you dance with me. Put on those dancing shoes, grab my hand, let's dance, let's get this ballroom rocking tonight. Clear the floor so we can do this right. We will dance till we got holes in our souls. Let's get this ballroom rocking tonight till the moon fades out and the sun's inside. We will dance till we hear a hush. Put on those dancing shoes, grab my hand, let's dance, let's get this ballroom rocking tonight. Clear the floor so we can do this right. We will dance till we got holes in our souls. Let's get this ballroom rocking tonight till the moon fades out and the sun's inside. Let's get out, girl, I'm taking you home. Hello, how you doing tonight? I saw your face in the candlelight across the room, and I wanted to know, yeah, I wanted to know, well, I'm anxious to know if you dance with me. Put on those dancing shoes, grab my hand, let's dance, let's get this ballroom rocking tonight. Clear the floor so we can do this right. We will dance till we got holes in our souls. Let's get this ballroom rocking tonight till the moon fades out and the sun's inside. We will dance till we hear a hello, are you doing alright? I am doing just fine. I could dance all night. Did you come alone? I just want you to know you don't have to be you. Grab my hand, let's dance, let's get this ballroom rocking tonight. Clear the floor so we can do this right. We will dance till we got holes in our souls. Let's get this ballroom rocking tonight till the moon fades out and the sun's inside. We will dance till we hear a hush. Put on those dancing shoes. Grab my hand. Let's dance. Let's get this ballroom rocking tonight. Clear the floor so we can do this right. We will dance till we got holes in our souls. Let's get this ballroom rocking tonight till the moon fades out and the sun's inside. Let's get out. Girl, I'm taking you home. Hello, how you doing tonight? I saw your face in the candlelight across the room, and I wanted to know. Yeah, I wanted to know. Well, I'm anxious to know if you dance with me. Put on those dancing shoes. Grab my hand. Let's dance. Let's get this ballroom rocking tonight. Clear the floor so we can do this right. We will dance till we got holes in our souls. Let's get this ballroom rocking tonight till the moon fades out and the sun's inside. We will dance till we hear a hello, are you doing alright? I am doing just fine. I could dance all night. Did you come along? I just want you to know you don't have to be alone if you dance with me. Put on those dancing shoes. Grab my hand. Let's dance. Let's get this ballroom rocking tonight. Clear the floor so we can do this right. We will dance till we got holes in our souls. Let's get this ballroom rocking tonight till the moon fades out and the sun's inside. We will dance till we hear a hush.
What is up, everybody? Everybody, we got Alyssa, we got Dustin in chat, we got someone named, oh my goodness, Hunt9QB1if, who's pretty spicy towards Tifa, so that's definitely a person. What's up, Angelica7? How's everyone doing today? We just had Gamescom yesterday, opening night live. Graphs, you really know how to make an entrance, brother. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. The clickbait is so good. You know what's funny though? Like, it's good because like it's a real story, and I'm not making stuff up, right? It would be like, I would feel bad if the clickbait was like, is Final Fantasy VII Revelation rated M? It is rated M, and then it was like not based in reality. But yeah, it is next level. Sorry for the clickbaity thumbnail, but I'm actually going to talk about that. What Persona's backwards hat, Spencer? I don't know. I just felt like wearing it backwards. I didn't do my hair, so I just threw on a hat, but I wasn't wearing it forward. I don't know. I'm getting spicy tonight, guys. What's up, Studio Shred? Ryan? Wait, I'm not on Twitter. What's going on with the ratings? Ryan, you don't know? That's what we're going to talk about tonight. Well, it's going to be a call-in show, but there have been rumors that Final Fantasy VII Revelation is likely mature based off an Xbox wish list or things. They don't know. The ESRB has not given it a rating yet. Spoiler alert. I'll just, give away the bag already. It's not going to be rated you guys. But we'll get into it more. So if you were here early, you'll know that I'm what I'm talking about already. Spencer is in his brooding outfit. This is me being like, let's talk about it. People are being crazy online. Yeah, there was a it's not even a leak. It's like the game is available to wishlist on Steam, on Xbox, and things like that. And because there's no rating for the game yet, they have to do a placeholder rating, right? So some sites have said like Peggy 16, which can be mature or can be teen. Peggy is like the European rating system, but then there's the ESRB ratings, which are like everyone, teen and mature. So the Xbox store says like likely mature. And the funniest reaction to all of this is that people aren't just like calm and rational and say, oh yeah, it's definitely just a placeholder and they're going to figure it out. And the other two games have been teen. You know what? They really want to get mature. And if you can think of someone who, or some people on the internet that might feel validated in their views of how certain scenes might play out in the ending of a Revelation, they really want it to be mature because reasons. Yeah, it's just more speculation. I think the ESRB caught up to the knowledge that the Moogles are naked. Those darn Moogles, man, they've been getting away with it. You can't spoil me, Spencer. I quit. So yeah, that's kind of like what people are talking about. It's silly. It's a silly thing, but yeah, I wanted. So tonight is a call-in show. Speaking of call-in show, I should let people. Let me give you guys a Discord link here, huh? I wasn't giving it to people in the waiting room. Sorry. 1 second. Yeah, so it's just funny to me because people take something that is silly and they use it to push their narrative that they want the games to be. We'll talk about it more. I think you can guess what I might talk about, but let's give you guys a link to the Discord. So for those of you that aren't in the Discord already, if you want to call in, you're welcome to join the call. Angelica says, if it's M for mature, I say it'll be like 16, maybe an F-bomb in there somewhere. Sid, yeah. But I don't think that they will have infamous sex scene from Cloud and Tifa like God of War. No, they will not. New trailer was nuts. I need to watch a reaction video. Yeah, you can watch our reaction video. It's live if you guys want to see it. But we can talk about that too. So tonight's a call-in stream. Like I said, I'm gonna kind of catch you guys up to date on the news. Talk about this drama, the Twitter drama about the rating of Revelation. But then we'll open it up to single callers. And so the way it'll work, I'll share a link in the chat. And if you want to join the Discord, you can hop in this room. And if you're already, on the Patreon paying $1 a month, then you're already in the Discord. And so you can just hop in whenever you want. I know that DK's already waiting in the room, and there's some people already in line. So here is get this here. This is the link, the Discord link, if you want to join. If you aren't part of the Patreon or whatever, no worries. Just call-in shows are always free. So if you want to come and chat and give your opinion about what's going on, or talk about what like a mature Final Fantasy VII Revelation would look like, feel free to talk about it. But I'm going to give my thoughts first, and then there. But yeah, we've got graphs, and we've got. If you want to chat not as a group, so how it's going to happen is when we do call-in shows, we like talking about a certain topic, and tonight we're going to be talking about the Gamescom news of Final Fantasy Revelation, the weapons trailers. We're going to be talking about the rating. And if you want to chat with me, you can one-on-one, and you have 15 minutes to chat with me. And then once everyone's done going by themselves, you can join the big group. And then the big group, we just all talk about Final Fantasy as a group. It's chaotic. Once we go to the group, then we can't do individual calls either. What's up, Jem? But yeah, come on in if you guys want to chat. But let me kind of go through this for a little bit. So for those that don't know, let me pull up my thumbnail here. I'll explain why I was being a bit cheeky. Okay. Okay. So here it is, guys. My graph said, what a good clickbaity thumbnail here. Oh my gosh. So if you guys can see here, this is what people were noticing when they were going to, wish list it. There's a rating pending, and I, made this a little bigger and highlighted it. It says likely mature 17 plus. So people were saying like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be mature. Now the rational response to this would just be like, let's wait and see. But of course, the people that have an agenda to push and they want you to be like, great. This is why I made this happy cry girl. I say Under the High Wind fans right now are crying tears of joy because they get to experience the High Wind scene in all the glorious detail. They will not be satisfied unless they see the Tookus of Cloud Strife. They see some cheeks. I'm sorry. It's so funny to me. Oh, they want mature Final Fantasy. Oh, dude, it is funny to me. Okay, why am I laughing? Okay. Okay. If you want mature Final Fantasy, we got that in Final Fantasy 16, right? We had Final Fantasy 16. We know what that looks like. We know what Square Enix, thinks is like a mature, gritty Final Fantasy, right? And that's fine. Like, if that was your cup of tea, sweet, right? But we have 2 games in the series already. 2 other games. We have Remake and Rebirth. Tonally, they are consistent across the board. They deal with some pretty weighty stuff. I don't know if you know this, but there's a big controversy about Dyne and how they portrayed Dyne in Rebirth versus the original. The only reason I know about this is because when Jolie did the deep dive, she put the original stuff in when we were recording, and she talks about it. But the original scene with Dyne that's a big controversy was way more dark than Rebirth, right? Rebirth is still kind of like he unalived himself by cop, kind of, right? He goes out in a blaze of glory and he's kind of just losing it, and that's like a way for him to go. But if you know the OG, Dyne doesn't go out that way, right? He chooses to end his life. And he says some pretty gnarly things about what he'll do. Now, you think that's pretty dark and pretty intense. Why would they make Revelation rated M if they didn't do that for Rebirth? There's other examples that I can give you, but it's like you just have to think about it for 2 seconds, and then you realize that this is just a placeholder. It is, you can look at it and say likely mature, okay, but this is probably the ESRB just being safe because Final Fantasy XVI just came out, and it was like, all right, maybe it could be like that. I don't know. I mean, Rebirth came out after that, right? Anyway, sorry, I'm laughing. Press X to dismount. Laugh out loud. What's up, Carlos? Final Fantasy VI was M and lacked cheeks. Yeah, they were tasteful about it, right? They didn't want to show too much. But the people that want to see Cloud's cheeks, Studio of Shred. They're out there, and they will not be satisfied. Think of how devastating it would be for these people if it was rated M and they didn't get that. Oh, Graph says 3 others. The original PS1 game too. Yeah. Gem says, I just thought it might mean Aerith scene will be shown in full realism and dark compared to the scene. So yeah, like if for those that don't know, I'm not mocking you if you thought this was true. Obviously, there's reason for you to assume that this might be the case because literally I'm showing you that this is, what people are seeing on their Xbox. Yeah, likely mature. Okay. Take it at face value. Sure. There's that scene. I've seen it. Everyone's seen it. Spoilers. In the original, when Sephiroth comes down and he stabs Aerith through the stomach or whatever from the back, Like, that would be pretty gnarly to witness in high-fidelity graphics rather than the kind of polygonal forms that they are in Final Fantasy VII. Totally get that. Totally get it. That could be pretty gross, right? Pretty mature. Sure, right? But the funny thing is, the discourse isn't about, like, Aerith being stabbed. I mean, some people are talking about that. But most of it's about Under the Highwind scene. And it's just so funny to me. Oh, it's so funny. Logically, it's not consistent with the other games. It makes 0 sense. Okay, let's not even talk about the shipper psychos out there for a second, all right? Let's just talk about normal people who play this game, and let's talk about the people who are selling this game to us, right? Square Enix and its investors and its partners the worst thing that they could do is be like, okay, we have conditioned players through Final Fantasy VII Remake they've set the tone. They know what this is going to be like, right? And then they matched it in Rebirth, right? And then for the final installment, they're just going to go hardcore. Why would you do that? That would be stupid. That would be stupid. That would be a bad business decision because you've already conditioned these players to expect something, and then it's different. You're going to lose people, right? You might get some people that won't even finish it. What you want them to do is make it as easy as possible for the people that have played your first 2 games to continue on. It's already a challenge to get people to go through these 100-hour games and make it to the last game, right? The big argument over the Rebirth sales is like, well, you have to get through Final Fantasy VII Remake, and a lot of people didn't, they played that one, but then they fell off, so then Rebirth lost a few, and then you're going to lose some more in Revelation, right? So, like, you think that the people want to make it like a totally different tonal experience? No. I will eat my hat. I will eat my shoe on stream live if this game is rated M. There is no conceivable world. There is no chance in my mind that this will be rated M. It's not going to be rated M. And if it is rated M, it's going to be like a technicality, or they show like one scene, but the tone is going to be like remain consistent. That doesn't mean that like the floodgates are open. Like, let's say it is rated M. And then, because there is like an Aerith stabbing, or there is like some sort of, thing that they want to portray. They want to like get this moment, right? You think that like then they're going to be like, okay, now people can be naked. Now people start to like, Cloud's just going to be saying the F word every few hours. Like, this is not going to happen, right? I don't think that's going to be a thing. Let me see if I'm missing on chat. Legend says, I kind of agree. I think if it's M, it's mostly due to Aerith's death. Okay, so Legend agrees to Gem. Even Crisis Core and Ever Crisis were T for teen. Xbox doesn't want someone to download a T game and get M by accident. Yeah. Would it be chunks if we didn't get cheeks? Yeah, dude. Chunks of no cheeks. That should be the shipper's motto. It's chunks of no cheeks. Angelica says Final Fantasy 16 did have that one woman in the brothel moaning. I watched a video about it and they said it was the first for them. And I'm going to talk about Final Fantasy 16 tonight too, Angelica, because I have issues with 16 in the direction of that. I've got a few. I'm going to share some tweets from some other people. I'm not trying to shame these people. They're actually members of the community and they've got decent takes sometimes. I disagree with the take that I'm going to show you tonight, but I'm going to explain why. And that this doesn't mean that I want you to go like harass this person. I think they're way more popular than I am. Anyway, so chunks of no cheeks, which I love. No, we can't move off your favorite subject. Go back, Spencer. What did I go on from, Alyssa? That's a good point. I wonder if the way Rebirth and Aerith scene played out may have to do with the ESRB ratings. See, like, I think that's crazy. I mean, that would be nuts. I feel like if they wanted to show Aerith get, killed the way she did in the original, I feel like that they would, like, I don't think that they would avoid doing it for ratings, because if they compromise their creative vision because they wanted to get a certain rating, I think that would be a bad move, right? It could have a reason why we didn't see stuff in full detail, but I think that would be a dumb reason, And if you're compromising your creative vision, you shouldn't do that. You should get an M rating, But I think they can pull it off without having to show blood, and I'll give examples. We have proof of said hat, so that explains why it's on stream. My hat here. I have it backwards because I'm salty today. We have proof. Oh yeah. The funny thing is that M-rated Final Fantasy isn't even fan servicey. I know it's not. We'll talk about that too. It will be optional. Says Gem. That's earlier confidence of the connoisseurs hats. Biggle says this is a hint that there are or were M-rated content during development, but I'm sure they're motivated to tone it down as much as possible. Yeah, like I don't. Maybe it's a glimpse into it, but they are gonna get it so it matches the tone of the other games. I'll eat my hat on stream. Yeah. Their expectations are too high. Say it louder for people in the back, Spencer. Do not harass people in your name. Go back to shipping discourse. Duh. Oh, gotcha. Salty Spencer. Regarding the Highwind scene, I think it will be tasteful. Maybe gloves off and extended kissing, but that's it. Yeah, like, okay, I love Mass Effect, right? Like, I remember I love Mass Effect games, and there's romance in that, and there are quote-unquote sex scenes in that game, right? But most of it's just, like, tasteful cuddling, and they, like, kiss faces with their aliens or whatever, and then it fades to black or whatever. Like, there's no way that the Under the Highwind scene is gonna be like a full-on sex scene. We're not getting Barnabas and Benedicta like in bed, We're not getting any of that. We're not getting Clive and Jill like on the beach. We're not getting any of that. If you think we're getting any of that, this is not the game for you. You've built this is the thing with the shippers. Like, they're good for them having their ships and their whoever they want, Cloud to end up with, whatever, right? They have turned their fan fiction and their obsession over certain characters, and they are trying to inject it into a game that it is not that, right? Yes, when it goes dark and there's implications, sure. Like, you can imagine whatever happened, right? Definitively, the Clariths can't say that it didn't happen, and then like definitively the Clotties can't say that it did. It's all just a whatever, right? People can have their fun and believe what they want, right? That's fine. The game should do that, right? Gloves off like Madam M. Steve says, well, yeah. Zen Man just joined but is this M rating legit? I don't think it's legit. I think what we're talking about is I mean, it's obviously there was something that like this is ESRB. They haven't done the full rating, but they are just like they may have gotten a few things and been like, okay, this is an intense game. Maybe we'll just stick like a likely mature. Likely. I mean, if it was, that's why they say likely, right? But we can talk about it some more. Hot coffee, Final Fantasy VII Revelation Edition. I know what the hot coffee mod is, right? DK says rating pending means the ESRB doesn't even have a completed version of the game submitted, so this is all speculation, right? Based on the marketing and application. Totally. That's all it is, right? 100% DK. They're definitely going to show a slow pan up the high wind up above during the intimate scene. Yeah. They're just going to, they're going to pan up and then you can imagine what you want, you know? Maybe they cuddled all night. Maybe they just held hands. Maybe they did it. Maybe no chunks, no cheeks, no, well, what was it? No cheeks, then chunks. Oh no, graphs. You had such a better thing. I don't remember already. What's up, N Benner? Mike says Under the High Wind will be tasteful, melodramatic scene like the famous Final Fantasy X scene in the water, complete with, the love song. Great. Yeah, it'll be great. They're doing the Infinity system anyway. We've gone on dates with Aerith. We've gone on dates with Tifa. I went on a date with the boys. I went on a date with Sid and Vincent and Kate Sith. Y'all can have your fun, right? Chunks if no cheeks. Thank you. That's what it is. Chunks if no cheeks. We have to get it right. Anyway, so Legend says, to be honest, I'm in the opinion you don't need them to do that to show they love each other, to be honest. If you write your game correctly, it's enough as is. Yeah, totally. And but the thing is, if you've played the other games, what they're doing is that they're letting people choose who they want to romantically be with. It's very Mass Effect coded where you could date Liara or you could date, Tali, or you could date Garrus, or you could do whatever, you could do all these other things. But because of situations, because the fandom has been rabid over this shipping war for 30 years, they've just turned it into something that's a little ridiculous, right? So anyway, so let me get into a little bit of my rant here. So there was a IGN wrote an article about this. Final Fantasy VII Revelation is available to wishlist on all major platforms, and fans have noticed that its pending rating is a bit more intense than expected. So this is their headline, right? Fan theories are already going wild. So that Highwind scene, huh? It's just playing to the shippers. This is why it's funny because the shippers control narrative because they're just so the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? But it's like I said, I will eat my shoe. I think Rebirth could have benefited from an M rating. Imagine that scene where Possessed Cloud massacres the Shinra soldiers in the Gongaga reactor. Yeah, I mean it could have, but I would argue that it's effective. It works. I don't need to see someone's head getting chopped off for me to be okay, the stakes are high, guys. But each to each their own, right? Anyway, let me read through this. This is kind of funny. So this is by Virginia Glaze. Final Fantasy VII Revelation is available to wishlist on all major platforms, and fans have noticed that its pending rating on Xbox Store is a bit more intense than expected. Set to release in spring 2027, the last entry of Final Fantasy VII Remake Trilogy wraps up the saga for Cloud and company in their quest to protect the planet from the incoming meteor. We've gotten few glimpses at gameplay over the last few months, showing off submarine combat, traversal via the Highwind, and an explanation of the new fit system, but none of these point to a mature rating. Interesting. So all this stuff that they've been showing about the games doesn't hint towards a mature rating. Kind of sounds like they're keeping the tone of the other games. But let's see what could cause the mature rating, shall we? Head chopping simulator coming exclusively for Jolie. Yes, I'm going to bring that up, Alyssa. That's the current predicted rating that's listed on the game's Xbox page, which says rating pending likely mature 17+. As clarified by the ESRB's rating system, the mature rating is given to games that may contain intense violence, blood and gore, sexual content, or strong language. For now, the game's rating is still pending, and the mature prediction is simply a placeholder implemented by the ESRB, likely based on many public unknown factors prior to its official rating. But why would Revelation be rated mature when the first 2 games in the trilogy were rated T14? Why? Tell us, IGN. There's a couple possible explanations for this. The first could be that the ESRB is using the placeholder out of an abundance of caution due to Final Fantasy XVI, which was notably rated mature due to its sexual themes, language, and overall violence. Okay? Fair enough. The other explanation is that there could be a lot more violence, language, and sexual themes in this particular game, and that the possibility is sending fans into a tizzy. Most can't help but bring up the saucy scene between Clive and Jill in Final Fantasy XVI, wondering if the famous Highwind scene between Cloud and Tifa might get a bit more heated than was originally portrayed in the 1997 game. And to be fair, Jolie talked about this on stream last week. She thinks that like Cloud and Tifa if you get the more, I don't know, advanced Affinity version of the, Tifa and Cloud scene on Highwind, she's like, yeah, they did it, right? I don't know. I haven't played the OG, so I don't know. Don't trust me, But then other people will be like, well, there's no proof. Who cares? If they did, cool. If they didn't, cool. You guys get to interpret the art how you want, right? These people don't get to interpret for you. I beg everyone knows Tifa the monk is the most rational person on Twitter. I say that because this is like an intense Khalifa shipper for sure. Like the number 1 Khalifa. I beg your finest pardon, one fan wrote on X. Mature? 17 plus? Spicy Highwind scene confirmed. Hello? Yeah. I wish you luck, Tifa the monk. I wish you get all that you hope and dream for. Oh my gosh, like, can you imagine that Square's like, you know what? We've had these games that we've been setting up that like young kids are entering the franchise for the first time, and what we're gonna do to them is we're gonna give them this like raunchy sex scene. We're just gonna like these young kids. We're just gonna like lay it on them, guys. 17 plus, spicy Highwind scene confirmed. That's like this is what people want. You are so in your shipping rabbit hole that you have no idea why this would be such a terrible idea. And of course, the first thought isn't like, oh, there's blood, or Aerith might get stabbed, or it might show some graphic imagery because the game gets intense. No, it's because they have sex. It's because they have sex. I'm sorry. It's just so dumb. It's so dumb to me. Oh my gosh. Yeah, she made it on IGN. Tifa the monk is so proud of herself. Anyway, Final Fantasy VII Revelation may go M-rated. This is quoting Limitless. And I wanted to bring up Limitless' tweet. I actually think Limitless is a cool person, but I disagree with his take here. This would make it a second mainline game to do so, and I welcome it. Another said, I want Final Fantasy to embrace the mature rating to explore their heavy, more darker themes with a grace and gravitas that gets muddied by having to compromise. And then he sent some, pictures of Jill and Clive. Two out of the 4 pictures, there's naked people in it. So it's like, Final Fantasy 16 grittiness really worked. I don't think so, but that's what For now, it's anyone's guess as to whether or not this pending rating will actually stick. In the meantime, you can check out the most recent reveals for the game, which were shown off at Gamescom, right? So, an announcement there. Anyway, so why do I kind of... I'm mocking Tifa the Monk a little bit, but I'm not mocking Limitless. Like, obviously, this rating system came out. This was a thing. People saw it, and yeah, like, you can. I think for just a pure like business reason, this makes no sense. But for anyone who like just saw that, I don't blame them for like saying like, oh, maybe it is, you know. Let me see. Let me catch up on stuff. More head chopping. I think Rebirth could have been okay. Yeah, I read Zenman's that. Yeah, the journal started riling up the Claris for the sweet, sweet revenue. Yeah, from Capital One. Right. Like, it's like they know, right? This hair is sticking out and it's bothering me, guys. Gotta fix that. That was way harder than I thought it would be. They know that it's like the shipping drama will drive clicks and all this stuff, right? So that's a good point. Head chopping simulator coming exclusive for Jolie. So Jolie, if you don't know, if you watched our stream, Jolie the only gaming franchise that she enjoys is Final Fantasy. Doesn't play any other games. She's like played Mario Kart and like Smash Brothers and like Nintendo games, but she hasn't like the only gaming franchise outside of that she's played is like really Final Fantasy and like The Sims, right? That's like her gaming history. And she loves Final Fantasy for the fantastical worlds and the fiends and all the things that you do and creatures that you fight. What she doesn't love Final Fantasy for is for all the blood and gore that we see in every other game on the market unless the characters look like Animal Crossing characters. You know what sets Final Fantasy apart? Is that it can kind of rest in that middle zone, right? Where it's not like we're this gritty, mature, medieval game where we're chopping off heads and blood's going everywhere. And we're not some kiddie game that's like feels like Nintendo. Final Fantasy has always been like a whimsical adventure that you go on with your party, and it's this like you can have mature themes, but you don't have to like show all the nitty gritty detail, right? Chocobro says the thing is, if they want to sell the entire trilogy as a bundle, having only part 3 rated M could be a problem. Either they make everything PG-13 or M. Thank you. Doesn't that make sense? Doesn't that make more sense? I am in 100% agreement with you, Chocobro. There's no way they would do that unless there was something that they wanted to put in and they like don't want to compromise on their vision, and like there's like that one scene that pushes it over the edge. Sure. But that doesn't mean that they're going to be like, great, we've got carte blanche to like just have tons of nude scenes now. You know what I mean? DK says, if anything, it's going to be toned down like everything else so far, the Honeybee Inn and Dyne. Yeah, Jolie talks about that too. She's like, Don Corneo in the original was way worse. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth came out after 16, though, so it's a bit odd to fall back on the 16 when they wouldn't. Yeah, recency bias. Yeah, that's fair. In the article, that was a little bit. They quoted 16 when I was out. Yeah, the ESRB people actually are they actually even gamers? They're not like a government agency. They're like a private agency that does this, right? So government didn't need to intervene. Was the placeholder likely mature in the first 2 titles? That's a good question, B-Pace. Jolly was telling me, she's like, we should find out what the placeholders were for the other ones. Graph says, Tifa the Monk can retire from social media. Mission accomplished. Cue the music. Bow, chicka, wow, wow. Nice, Materia. What's up, Materia Junction? I subscribe to your channel, man. You have good stuff. Go check out Materia Junction's channel. He does some interviews with some... I watched your interview with the Terra cosplayer. That was cool. Very, very cool stuff. Graph says, oh, Final Fantasy 16, you did some neat things, but also some failed experiments as a Final Fantasy 7 game. Yeah, I'm actually going to talk about that right now. Okay, so let me pull this up. Let's go to my bookmarks here. Okay. No shade to Limitless. He's got good stuff. Go check him out. He or she, I don't know. I don't know who. But, yeah, so this is their take. Final Fantasy VII Revelation may go M-rated. This would make it the second mainline game to do so, and I welcome it. I want Final Fantasy to embrace the mature rating to explore their heavy or darker themes with grace and gravitas that gets muddied by having to compromise. Final Fantasy XVI was actually a good example in using the M rating creatively beyond vulgar words and harsh world. But in its use of exploring vulnerability through nakedness and self-destruction. The game, of course, had its lore reasons for depicting them this way too, and yet the underlying significance there in the representation of being vulnerable, unable to hide who you are or what you feel was done with elegance. I hope Final Fantasy VII Revelation can use that M rating in a similar way to bolster its storytelling that fits this world. Think what you want about his take on Final Fantasy 16. I disagree. I think Final Fantasy 16 is trying to be something that it is not. I think it's chasing a Western audience, and it's saying, like, you know what, we need to be Game of Thrones, and then they kind of fall apart halfway through the story. But they're like, we need to kind of have like a more mature theme, and I don't think it works, actually. I think 16, when you think about the biggest criticism of Final Fantasy 16, what do you guys hear the most? Get a haircut. Yeah, like what do you guys hear the most about Final Fantasy 16? What's the biggest criticism? Is it that Clive is like a lame character? Is it that, you know, nobody likes Jill, that the romance wasn't as good? No, the biggest criticism of Final Fantasy 16 is that it doesn't feel like a Final Fantasy game. I will repeat that. It doesn't feel like a Final Fantasy game. I know that there's people that'll call me a tourist because I don't know the whole history and that Final Fantasy has always changed. But I feel like Final Fantasy is about the party members, the characters that you go on the adventure along the way. You have different job classes. You have a warrior. You have a monk. You have a white mage. You have a black mage. I just played Final Fantasy 1. I get that. And as time went on, yes, you had different people in your party. But what does Final Fantasy 16 do that is completely different than the rest? They get rid of the party. They make it all about Clive. Yes, you talk to Joshua. Yes, you talk to Jill. You do these things along the way. You have companions that are kind of there, but it's not really a Final Fantasy game because it doesn't feel like it. It's got chocobos. It's got Moogles. You can use spells, kind of, right? I mean, it's like no one's casting Firaga. They are, but it's not really like that, you know? Not turn-based, which I don't have a problem with. I platinumed Final Fantasy 16, okay? I enjoyed the game. I'm not like an OG purist, but the biggest complaint is that it didn't feel like a Final Fantasy game, okay? So what are they trying to do here? They're trying to take... 16 was an experiment. They were like, we want our game to be like God of War. Down to the point where, you know, when you do your limit break and you go into Spartan mode, you click in the two sticks. It's like the exact same thing. And there's blood and there's guts and there's gore. And they say the F word. And it doesn't even feel like they're in that world. It just feels like they're in our world saying the F word. You know, it doesn't feel like a Final Fantasy game. Me, you know, take my opinion or leave it, because like I said, I don't know the world or Final Fantasy series well enough to like make that claim, but I've heard that sentiment enough that I can repeat it here on Steam. Right? You just play as one dude, and then Joshua and Clive and Sid, they're awesome characters, but it's just like it doesn't feel like it. They're just kind of hanging out. I want to go to Grok. I was trying to go back. Like, it's like bleeding over. It's because I'm zoomed in, maybe. That's why, yeah, the UI is not working. Anyway, so I have my issues with Final Fantasy 16. To be fair, Limitless, I think one of his favorite Final Fantasy games is 16. So he's like a big 16 defender. So it would make sense that he feels this way. On this like, not just the blood and the guts and the swearing and all that stuff. I think the sex scenes, like, when has a sex scene ever made something better? Like, honestly, I think you can imply that sex happens and it's just as effective, right? But to show them, like, naked with each other, with Benedicta and Barnabas and Kupka and, like, all the things that they do, it's like, we're dark and gritty because we're dark and gritty. We're like mature Final Fantasy now, right? We swear. Like, I just feel like they are trying to be something that they're not, and it comes off as so disingenuous and so try hard. It comes off as so try hard, and I feel like Final Fantasy 16 is such a try hard attempt to be like, Western people, pay attention to us, right? Anyway, that's my take on 16. I think it's a good game. I platinumed it. I think you'll have a good time playing it. I think all the sex and the gore and the stuff doesn't need to be. Let me catch up on chat here. Hard disagree with this tweet. Hitting teen is how you do the things the tweet is asking for, in my opinion. Yeah, like all those things, you can be vulnerable. You don't have to be naked on camera in front of each other to feel vulnerable, right? You don't need to do all that stuff. But it's kind of interesting. Let's see, what did I miss? I think it's about 80% of the remake series audience is above 30. Yeah. And guess what, B-Pace? How many people do they want to introduce to the Final Fantasy series with the remake series? Do you think they want to just keep their 40-year-old fans? Or do they think they want to get some new blood in there? And do you think they might want to make a game that's welcoming to younger audiences? My issue is with 16 is that it went so dark it lost the soul of Final Fantasy, if that makes sense. Yes, it makes sense. That's what I'm talking about, Legend. Well said. Not yet, Spencer. Not yet. Witcher, Mass Effect, Head Chopping Simulator. Thanks, Dustin. They can stamp TTM on the bottom right on the bundle box. Oh, yeah, they can't. I gotcha. That would be hilarious. That's a good point, Graphs. Imagine they do the bundle like when it all releases, because you know there's going to be that triple pack. And they're like, TTM, because they have to like verify like with 3 ESRB ratings to make sure that people know. It's like, well, 2 of them are teen, but you got to buy the M one too. Doesn't logically make sense. It's going to be vibes. No, Alyssa. Back to Revelation, though, I truly think it will push it to the max. Yeah, I think they will, too. I think they will. I mean, they did that with Rebirth, right? When Cloud goes off and he's, like, slamming his sword down in the Shinra guys and blood is splattered across his face. Like, I think that is effective enough, right? Sometimes when we see less, our mind imagines more, right? So, like, Cloud's losing it at Gongaga Reactor, and he's killing these people. We haven't really seen... The game goes out of its way to show us that like Cloud is on the verge, even in Remake. If there's that, you guys remember that scene? This is in the Sector 7 slums when Tifa meets up with Cloud and they're doing the errands around the Sector 7 slums. And then they go help Johnny, right? And then Johnny's like a snitch or whatever. It's like, you can't tell us about, like, you got to get out of here, Johnny, because he's given details about Avalanche. Cloud like goes hard on them, right? And then they make it a point, like Johnny says, like, hurry before they wake up. And the implication is that Cloud and Tifa, even though Cloud's like swinging his Buster Sword, he's not killing the Shinra troopers. They're getting knocked out. But then Cloud's like, do you want me to finish them? Like Cloud is like, and Tifa has a line where she says, Cloud, you're scaring me, right? Obviously, they're setting it up so that moment in Gongaga when Cloud actually does kill Shinra troopers and Tifa's right there, she's freaked out. That's effective. It works. We don't have to see him like, the camera doesn't need to pan down and be like, show Cloud, be like, here we go. Like, let's chop this guy's head off. I know there's a tasteful way to do violence and like to show things that are intense, right? But kind of when you get to the gore, when everything's just gory, it kind of loses that impact. Yeah, let's see here. Materia Junction. Thanks, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, no worries, man. Check out Materia Junction stuff. At least ESRB, not like the IGRS, Indonesia. What? I don't know what it's like, Steven. Hard disagree with this tweet. 16 lacks the soul. You only play as Clive. Yes. Final Fantasy may cry. I think it's a good game. Like, this is the fun thing. It's like these criticisms, these criticisms of Final I keep trying to fix my hair with my headphones on. It's like snaking out here. You can't hide this hair from anyone, right? You can't stop Final Fantasy. You can't say that Final Fantasy 16 is a bad game, not a poorly made game. It's a good game, but it doesn't feel like a Final Fantasy game, right? People call me tourist because it changes. I know Final Fantasy changes in every entry, but like even 12, when you don't even control and has the gambit system, you still got the menu-based spells. You still like have the, do all that stuff. It's like, I know it's different, but it's still like a Final Fantasy game. You have your party. You can build someone up as this role who's going to be like a tank, and there's going to be this person who's the healer and the white mage, like all this stuff, right? Ipe says they might be looking at recent sells from the first 2 titles of the remake series coming out on all platforms and seeing that the buyers are well above 18 and might not matter. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I mean, Final Fantasy fans in general, they're old. The average age in Japan is 42, and I imagine that the North American audiences in Europe aren't too far behind it. Kratos God of War says, I like Final Fantasy 16. It mixed Devil May Cry and God of War. Yeah, so it's like, it's cool. You dig it, man. Your name is Kratos. Of course you love it, because it's trying to be your game. It's trying to be like God of War. It's not trying to be a Final Fantasy game. I know. That's my take here. Okay. Graph says, audience are good at pointing out problems. They're not effective at articulating what's good, especially for artistic vision. Yeah, that's fair. And like, I can criticize, but I should offer like suggestions, you know? I think what they're doing with Remake series is very impactful. I think that the emotional highs of Remake are much higher than the emotional highs of 16. I think 16 does a lot of like, we want you to feel this way. They manipulate emotion through gore and sex and through M-rated stuff, and they don't earn it as much as like, you know, the Remake series does. I just totally believe that. The soundtrack for 16 kicked A, though. It totally did, Carlos. The soundtrack for 16 rules. Shout out to Soken, man. So good. Not agree. I think Witcher 3 had sex scenes to not make it worse. Yeah, I just like, I don't think like seeing the sex scenes make Witcher 3 better. I think you can have the romance with Yennefer and Triss and whoever, right? But I think like if you're like, oh, I want to see like a boob or I want to see like cheeks or something, right? I don't think that part makes it better. I think the romance and the implication of the like, you know, and it's like, we're old, we're mature, like we can see that. It's like, I just don't think, like, I think, and I'm a bit of a prude, so like to me, like that stuff is like, I don't care to see it in my media. I know it exists, like, you know. Believe it or not, I have 3 children. I participate in that sort of thing. It's like, sure, but I don't need to see it in my media, right? Yeah, let's see here. I like less is more. Some people say that's writing for the writers, though. No. If they've done enough foreshadowing and setup graphs, then it's not writing for the writers. Yes, you might fill in the blanks, but if they've set it up in a way for you to kind of, you know, fill in the blanks, that's good, because they shouldn't explain everything for you. Hunt9 says, nothing ever even happened under the Highwind scene. It's been an internet myth that Square has denied for years, and they're going to be disappointed, and I cannot wait to see it. I mean, maybe that's true. And maybe it's not true, Hunt. Like, we'll just have to see. And if it is, like, I think it will be an affection scene with Tifa. I think it will be romantic. And I think things will be implied, and then you can make the choice there, right? Obviously, nothing will be confirmed, I don't think, at least. If they wanted to do sex scene in the OG Final Fantasy VII, they could have done it. Xenogears came out the following year and has a sex scene. Xenogears and Final Fantasy VII have the same ESRB, both routine. Okay, good point, Sue Fiber. I honestly do not think that they will or should do an M rating. However, it's not bad for headline clicks. That's totally true, B-Face. DK says the M rating for the Tifa scar from Sephiroth. And the Tifa scar from Sephiroth. We're actually going to see the Tifa scar. Yes! She's going to lift up her shirt, and Cloud's going to be like, I finally see it. They're going to show the players, too. Are we so lucky? That sounded so creepy and gross. Cloud is not killing the Shinra troopers because Wedge likes them fresh like lobsters. Yes, Javier. You got to just boil them alive. The story and lack of gameplay of Jill. Oh, Jill is such a tragic story, man. Like, Jill is set up in 16 as one of the coolest characters, and they do nothing with her. They do nothing with her. She's just furniture. Even in her big moment when she goes back to the places that, like, you know, treated her like a slave. Clive is the one that fights him, and she's like, I'm the dominant of, like, ice. I'm Shiva, and I'm just gonna, like, hang out on the outskirts of the, you know, and you can fight this fire boss. It's so dumb. But that's the way they set up the game, because Clive has to do everything. Oh, it's so dumb. Jill could have had such good moments, but they're like, nope, this is Clive's game. Get out of the way, Jill. You're not interesting. This isn't a party game. This is a Clive game. Oh, I could talk about it. Angelica, yes. Preach. Guys, the M stands for massive weapons. Nice, Dustin. I can. It's a bad game. Yeah, You do not like 16, which is fine. Studio Shred says, I think Square has put their eggs into too many weird random baskets to garner a younger audience. The Final Fantasy IX anime was going to do the job, or wasn't going to do the job. Chunks if no cheeks. I love it. Square hasn't really denied anything with their Under the Highwind scene. They mentioned that their storyboards had a scene at night in the Chocobo stalls in a prior, where Tifa would sneak out. Yeah, like, anything could happen, but it's like you have to fill in the blanks, and like it's fine, guys. Anyone that's a Cleric out there, it's okay if Tifa and Cloud have sex. It's okay, because guess what? You're a Cleric not because Cloud and Tifa have relationships, because guess what? Cloud probably has feelings for both of these girls. It doesn't matter. You're a Cleric because you enjoy the romance between Cloud and Aerith more. People that are Cleefas enjoy the romance between Cloud and Tifa more. You understand? Like, it doesn't matter. It's all preference. And it's just like the game is catering to both of you, right? Anyway, very funny. Carlos says, and to be honest, the trend in all media the last couple of years has been less sex scenes. There have been several articles about how Gen Z don't really want it in their media. I mean, like, yeah. I mean, I'm a millennial, right? I'm an old fart, and I'm just like, I don't care. The reason why I'm going into Revelation is the last thing I'm worried about is to like get some fan service and see Cloud and Tifa get it on, or Cloud and Aerith, or the bros, him and Barrett hanging out. Like, that's not why I'm going into that. The relationships and the stories that they tell each other, and the bonds that they build when they're saving the world together, yeah, dude. And if romance happens to be in that, like, bonus, right? I like dating sims in games. That's why I like Mass Effect. I think it's super cool because it is the same kind of idea, right? You're saving the world, and like you've been on this journey with these people, right? That you grow to love and care about. Being a Cleric equals being poly. I don't know if that's the same thing. Jill, I'm not do shiz because the game is hack and slash. Oh yeah. Nice, Dan. I'm hoping that M rating means I'll get my favorite Sid line. Shut up and drink your dang tea. Is that true? Sid say that? Yeah, Sid was like kind of had a mouth on him, right? That'd be funny. It's rated M because Sid just lets loose. Spencer's definitely going to be going into Revelation for the cheeks. Chunks if no cheeks. I love that, man. We gotta talk about that. Sue Fiber said, no, you're responding to Sue Fiber, yeah. Anyway, but so let me play this for you. This is like a bit of a tangent, but I think it's important. So, this is just a little bit of our stream that we did yesterday. Make sure this is the right one. You know if you can hear this. So this is that first Hoyoverse game, and this is Jolie. Look at her face. Can't really see because it's small, but she's disgusted.
Lion with horns. Oh, no. Oh, always with the chopping of the heads. You had me till the chopping of the head.
I mean, it's a monster, Joe. The chopping of the heads. The dragon. This is a lifelong Final Fantasy fan, by the way. My wife Jolie, she loves Final Fantasy. It took her a lot to get through 16. I'll just tell you that.
All these.
So we got, he talks a little bit about it.
Here around the world.
What do we got?
Now,
Some other stuff with Jolie's talking about here. What do we
Every
get?
head
It's
chop
a game.
is an instant.
Yeah.
All right, they lose points. Every head chop is an instant point deduction.
She was rating the games. Every head chop is an instant point deduction. Rainbow Six Tactics. Then we get Gears of War. Oh yeah, this is a lovely intro. Jolie loved this.
Oh, I already hate it.
Yeah, there's like these aliens.
I already hate
fight.
Got pecs,
What's he gonna do with that?
Yeah, dude. It's a buff. Oh my gosh, that stabby thing on his wrist? No.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, it's
Come
gonna
on.
be bad, Joe.
No. Acid? What? Oh my gosh.
Let's make Final Fantasy mature, y'all! Let's pour acid on people's faces. Rated M, yeah. I know this isn't what people are asking for, and I know I'm trolling a little bit, but do you get it? Do you get it? Right? Jelly doesn't like booty shorts. Oh yeah, do you want me to go to that one? I can't remember where that was. You did not like that either. You guys didn't see her freaking about. Was that the American game? The oh, that's so funny. I don't know where it's at. Anyway, go ahead and watch our stream yesterday if you want to watch Jolie react to all the games. Guys, there are countless games with blood and guts and gore. There are countless games with booty short girls and scantily clad women. These exist. The nice thing about Final Fantasy is that it has created its own identity over the years, and it is not that. It can have fan service moments. It can have the romances. That's what Tifa is. Like it or not, Tifa is a fan service character, you guys. Blowing your mind. Yes, she's well written, and she's a cool person, and she is like a cool character. But a big portion of who she is for those people. You know who you are, right? And that's okay. You're excited because you have a hot girl in your game. Tifa is super hot. She's super hot, right? Yeah, anyway, it's just funny to me that like we cannot think like rational, mature adults, right? America F, yeah, that's the most American thing. Yeah. Anyway, if you watch that part, you guys might have been on stream anyway already, but that was hilarious. That one game where it's like some Japanese girl running around with the American flag and like killing a bunch of people, right? So anyway, like I think Final Fantasy gets into a trap when it's trying to be something that it's not. I think when it's going in this direction, I think that yeah, if done well, Final Fantasy 16 could have been better. I think it's obviously trying to be something that it is not, and it suffers for that. Square Enix, if you are listening to this, we are not nearly important enough for you to pay attention to. But if you are, you don't need to be God of War. You don't need to be Horizon Zero Dawn. All you need to be is what you already are. Final Fantasy. Lean into the things that you do best. Characters. Amazing world building. Amazing monsters and fiends to fight and adventures to go on. And then, the characters and the storylines and the adventures that they go on together to eventually kill God. You can always be that. You can still be that. Focus on those things that you do well. You don't need to be some gritty, Game of Thrones wannabe remake. Know who you are and lean into that. Okay? That's my rant. That's why I think it's funny when people are freaking out about this rated M stuff. So, anyway, yes. Imagine the ship graveyard if Kyrie ends up at the leading lady in Revelation. Yes, I'm a resourceful gal. What's up, Kyrie? It's good to see you. Anyway, Square, do the thing that makes you Square. Stop trying to chase trends. Stop trying to be something you're not. I think 16 was a failed experiment. In that regard, I still think it's a good. Dan says, the Game of Thrones early story of 16 for me is the worst thing I ever saw in a Final Fantasy game after they come with Ultima and the most generic enemy in human history, a god creator. Yeah. Well, the thing is, I actually like kind of the political intrigue at the beginning, but then they go all like JRPG. So this might sound like I'm going against what I just said, right? Because it's like, don't try and kill God at the end. Sure, like there have been Final Fantasy, like Final Fantasy 12 isn't all about killing God, right? It's more about like political machinations of like, warring countries and stuff. But what I'm saying is you don't need to be a Devil May Cry, a God of War game. You can be like the party game. You can lean on the things that made you special, right? Like having party members that fight are, I think Revelation, Remake, Rebirth, and Revelation is the top tier Final Fantasy combat has ever been. That the party members are all unique and different. And that takes a lot of work, but they've shown that they can do it, and they showed that they can do it quickly too once they have the team that's stuck together. So I liked the political intrigue at the beginning of 16, but I think they got off the rails because they were unsure, like because they were playing around in waters that they were unfamiliar with. it's like they shouldn't have done that, right? Maybe they make Final Fantasy 16 story like Shadow of War. I've never played Shadow of War, so don't know. Is that the Lord of the Rings one? Anyway, now we're gonna switch over to the call-in show. The call-in show, I know that there's people waiting. We've got Graf, Steven, and DK. So how that will work is I will let me put the timer up here. Whop. And then this way we can chat about whatever you want. But yeah, we're kind of just talking about the Final Fantasy news. If you want to talk about Final Fantasy Revelation news at Gamescom, cool. If you want to talk about the M rating, hit me up now. I think DK was waiting the longest. DK usually on the East Coast. So I'm going to grab DK. And then I think Graphs and then Steven. So, yeah. And then if you guys want to join the chat, if you're still here, this is the Discord link. Want to join the chat. If you want to tell me I'm wrong, if you want to say Final Fantasy 16 is the best Final Fantasy game there is, there should be if there's no cheeks, I do it wrong every time. Chunks if no cheeks, right? So it chunks if it no cheeks. It sucks if there's no cheeks, right? If you want to see Cloud and Tifa get it on and you want to see it in all the gritty detail, you come tell me. Hop in the call-in show and we'll chat about it. But yeah, let me grab DK. All right, DK. I pulled you into stream. You should be live now, but you're not muted. So let me know if you.
Should be good to go. No echo.
Yep, I can hear you. Cool. Yeah, just mute the stream so you don't hear me double talking, but for yourself. What's up, man? We can hear you. How's it going, DK?
I enjoyed the Gamescom.
Yeah,
got
Gamescom was fun.
2 games I like was there, so that's a win.
Was it Witcher and Final Fantasy?
Mega Man.
Oh, okay. I was kind of being harsh on Mega Man. I grew up playing Mega Man. Oh, but you have so yeah, tell me how you feel about the direction of Mega Man. That's interesting. Because I watched it and I felt it was a little mobile gamey-esque. But maybe I'm wrong.
My initial impression is it looks way too much like the previous game graphically.
Okay.
But I had to remind myself that that's what the NES games did. They looked mostly the same.
Sure.
So
like you were
kind of had to
hoping
keep
for like a different art style or just like an iteration on what they had already done.
Right.
Gotcha.
I can't really put it into words, but it just looks so much like the previous game. It doesn't feel like it's a sequel.
Yeah.
So, but I haven't played it yet, so I'll leave it up to that. Some of the stuff I saw in the trailer feels more Mega Man X-ish.
Okay.
So some of his capabilities feel lifted from the other series. So
yeah. So are you like a NES, like the little blue bomber, the small guy? Is that like is that your Mega Man, or do you like both series but you prefer one or the other?
As a series, the classic is preferred, but I'd say individually, like X1 is like my top tier.
Yeah.
So, but
I've never played Mega Man X, and I hear that game rules. And it's just because I didn't have a Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
I had like a game with Mega Man X and Zero on the Game Boy Advance, but I never beat it. I kind of fell out of that. But I had Mega Man 2 growing up and Mega Man 4, and my best friend had Mega Man 1, 3, and 5. And then he got Mega Man 6 because I didn't get that. But like we played through all the Mega Man games. Loved all the different Robot Masters. I was a big Mega Man 4 kid. I just thought it was the coolest because Rush could turn into a submarine, and I thought it was so rad, But I know that you have like all the games, like the box games, right? Like you're a collector.
Mm-hmm. Just within the past year, I had an inkling to just collect the whole classic series complete in box, and the last 2 games were very expensive. But
yeah, but you had to get them. I get that feeling, right? You wanted to complete the set.
yeah, when you get to the very end, it's just like, you know what, bite the
Yeah.
bullet. And
Cool.
so, but I'm glad I have them, and they'll probably appreciate in price eventually. So I'm not too worried about it.
I think they will. So as far as like Final Fantasy at Gamescom, right? So you got Mega Man, that was your other like side game that you like. But as far as like what's our channel, Final Fantasy, we got a big deep dive at Summer Game Fest, right? And this felt like just like a little bit of extra stuff. It didn't feel like another deep dive to me, at least, right? But what did you like about what we
No,
saw at Gamescom?
it felt like a larger teaser. So
Yeah,
it's just interesting that we had this huge drought of nothing, for so long. We didn't get any information, and then we got
right.
a big amount from the first trailer, and then
Totally did.
now, are we just going to get sprinkles until the spoiler trailer? Like,
I think we
you
will.
know,
To be honest with you, I think it won't be. I don't think it will be sprinkles. I mean, if you consider what we just got at Gamescom, then yeah, that's like a drip feed or sprinkle. I think what we'll do, or what they'll do, is like they are now going to just be constantly talking about it. They're going to be doing interviews. They're going to be at shows. I think they're going to be at PAX West. We know in a few days, right? In like a week or something. They're going to be at Tokyo Game Show. They're going to be doing some other things. They're going to. I guarantee. I don't say. I can't guarantee, but I feel like they have this relationship with Jeff Keighley. I feel like that they will be at the Game Awards. That's like the biggest stage. The game's coming out. It's the third entry in the trilogy. They want to push this game hard. And Hamaguchi has even said, like, this is the start of us talking about it, and we're going to, like, not shut up. So I think we'll keep getting stuff, and it won't be big. I think it'll be, like, little something here, little something here, little something here, little something here. We'll keep learning about things, keep us interested. Obviously, we're in the hyper obsessed, category, but there are other people who are not online all the time that are just like, oh yeah, they're keeping this game in my mind, like it's coming out, right? Whereas we're gonna be like, what happened in this moment of the trailer, but they're gonna do a lot to bring players along and let them know that it is coming out, that it is available on Switch. You can play Remake Rebirth, on Xbox and Switch and Epic Game Store, and please buy it and please play it before the main game. I just feel like they are going to do that, but I guess we'll have to see. But anyway, kind of cool. What did you like most about the trailer?
liked most. I mean, it went by so quick.
Yeah,
I think it was like 90 seconds or only 2 minutes or something like that. So,
yeah, it was quick. It's funny because it's like you thought there would be more or whatever. I got it pulled up on screen here. You got Rufus talking. They're all saying that like Shinra's helping out. You're fighting the weapons, but
that looms over our heads. And by
I mean, we kind of really didn't show much more than the first trailer that we got. At least in the first trailer, we kind of got a little glimpse of how you're going to fight the weapons, possibly.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to be like a traditional fight like every other boss.
Yeah, how do you think they will do that? I haven't played the OG, so maybe you're being nice and not spoiling things for me. But like, I don't know, how do you fight something like that? They're huge. They're like the size of mountains. Are you just gonna go fight them with your sword? Like the party? Do you square up against them, or do you have to? I mean, they do show in the trailer that they use the submarine to fight it, and that Shinra's using its jets and missiles, and then you use the high wind in one of the scenes. So maybe it's something like that, but it just seems kind of crazy. Like, how does this party take on this threat? I guess we'll have to see, but maybe you know more. You're being nice and not telling me.
I wonder, because there's large bosses in the previous games, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and they break up the teams, into.
Yeah.
So maybe they handle it that as well, and then maybe the vehicles will play a part in it.
Uh-huh.
So, it's not going to be a typical fight.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, man. I don't know. I guess I can say here, I was talking on Discord with some people, and I I do worry about it being like just the third installment is just a bunch of kaiju battles where you're fighting a bunch of monsters. Because the thing I care about most is the kind of the intimate stories between the characters, and fighting Sephiroth. Obviously, I think Sephiroth is weird to me. I haven't really figured him out. So it's like it feels like they're like throwing in more distractions. It's like, oh, you thought Sephiroth was the main threat? Now you got to fight all these weapons. And I know they have to stick true to like what happened in the OG, and they'll probably do it well. I obviously don't know how it all comes about because I didn't play the OG. But I'm just like, wow, there's more things to fight, and it's okay. I guess we're focusing on them now, and we're gonna get some slower times with Tifa and Cloud later, and party's going to have these slowdown moments. I know that they'll have those slow moments, but this trailer kind of worried me because it felt like it was just like bombastic, fight, and I'm like, I don't really care about fighting these monsters. But maybe I'll be wrong. You know?
There are the ones that will be mandatory will definitely not as difficult as the optionals.
Yeah, like the end game super bosses kind of thing.
So I wouldn't worry too much about that. And then.
Okay.
For me, as a guy who platinums the games, like gameplay is everything for me.
Cool.
So, be more than happy to take the 500 hours it's going to do to finish this.
And they are amazing. I mean, like it is so fun to, play it and enjoy it because that's my favorite part too. I like this. I'm most intrigued for Revelation because of the story. But then right behind that is just playing, I love the combat in these games, which is super fun. So it's a great time. But
I don't want to be negative, but I'm being pessimistic in that I don't really ever think that Square has ever really delivered a satisfying Final Fantasy ending, in my opinion.
You and Jolie are on the same page, DK.
I wouldn't
don't
count
be pessimistic.
on that.
Yeah.
So...
Well, I know, but yes, like keep your expectations low, right?
And even within Remake, and there was a lot of people that didn't like Remakes. A lot of people upset with Rebirth, and past. The history doesn't predict the future, but they have a track record,
right?
So
I've seen some people argue that like they like the endings a certain way, right? And then there's the argument of like, well, there's the ambiguity side of it where it's like Japanese storytelling is a little bit different than like Western storytelling. So like kind of an Eastern slant towards letting you kind of make up your mind more than just like giving it to you, which I think is maybe a fair assessment. I just prefer one over the other. Me and Jolie talk about how we want answers to questions rather than just vibes. It's like, it just felt good, like we skipped 500 years in the future and Nanaki was running around with his kids and Midgar had plants on it, right? I know the ending of the OG, kind of the idea, but it's like, I want more than that. I want to see what, our efforts and, the things that we went through as a team, how that made our party members, better. And I want to see the outcomes of their choices, but maybe that's asking too much. Maybe that's a little sappy. I don't know.
Well, I've watched a lot of Japanese media, and there's a lot of tropes that happen, and partly tying in with tonight's topic, why I don't think it's going to be a mature rating, is that a mature rating would really tank the sales in Japan as well.
Okay, really?
Because that market, they do sell mature games over there, but the way that they consume media, they don't go for the heavy, gory violence or the smutty sex scenes. It's just not that prevalent.
Yeah.
So I don't see them trying to take that turn towards that direction. Right. So, and with it being a commercial product, they've got to maximize their audience so they could sell the most amount of units. So,
yeah, I feel like that would be shooting themselves in the foot. They're like, this last one's M, deal with it. You know what I mean?
And the compromise, I think, really kind of hurt trying to please two audiences at the same time for the new players and the OG players. And it's just like, they're on a tightrope. Even, like I said, even in OG, people didn't like the ending. People didn't like Advent Children's ending. They didn't like Dirge's ending. So, the best that you can hope for me is like I like the character development.
Yeah.
I
If they
like
have
the
satisfying,
gameplay.
right. Yeah.
And then hopefully the story doesn't turn into a dumpster fire. That's all I can
Yeah, dude.
ask for.
Dude, I'm on the same page as you. I am nervous, but I do feel like they have been making deliberate choices on purpose, to set up the ending. I think them calling it revelation, them planting their flag there, like, we understand that you have questions and we're gonna reveal all of it. Okay, it's like, okay, put up or shut up now, Square Enix. Like, let's see what you've got for us. And like, it is kind of fun, to imagine this 30-year cook that they've got going. They've had a very long time to think about how they want to end Final Fantasy VII again, right? Do they want to just do the flash forward scene and have the 500 years in the future? I don't know if it was 500, but you know what I mean, like with Red, his kids or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It's fascinating. I am super interested, but I do not have like 100% faith that they're going to pull it off. But I am proud of them for taking a big swing. I will say that. It's interesting. It's more interesting than the other games that I played, especially remakes.
And there's a comment in chat I think's interesting about Eastern storytelling, about reading the room, and a lot of indirect communication, not being absolute, and that's absolutely a thing in day-to-day life in Japan.
Yeah,
of just like you got to read between the lines, and being direct is kind of too confrontational. So,
right.
Square wants to leave themselves wiggle room and leave things unanswered. So that if they want to leave something to expand on, then they give themselves room to do that. So,
which is fine if they set it up right. And that's Jolie's biggest critique too, is like, if they foreshadow it enough that it makes sense, sure, then you can leave it slightly ambiguous. But but if they just say like, well, we didn't answer your questions, peace, and
I see that happening.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Right. So, well, awesome, DK. Thanks for calling in, man. If you want to join the group, you can, or you can just hang out. But I appreciate it.
I'll say goodnight, everybody.
Cool, man. Are you getting some rest?
Yep, it's almost 11 p.m. here.
Yeah, it's late for you. I know. Well, awesome. Thanks for calling in. It's always fun talking to you, DK.
All right, see you next time.
See you, man. All right. Let's see here. Okay, I said I was going to pull graphs in, and then I'll get you, Steven. All right, graphs. You are live. Don't forget to mute yourself so you're not hearing an echo.
That's a good idea. Hello, my fellow Smash brother.
Dude! I just want to play Smash with you all the time. Let's end the stream now. We're ending early, so me and Graphs can just hang out.
No, you're going to make me the villain.
No, dude. You rule. What's up, man?
Another day of the week. So.
Yeah.
Another day, another dollar, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
You're getting through it. Well done.
Getting through it.
No,
I gotta put up some defense though. There are
no
satisfying
cheats.
endings.
Okay, yeah, you're okay. That's fine. Yeah, I don't know
there
Final
are.
Fantasy enough to be like yes or no, but okay, go ahead.
All right, Final Fantasy IX.
People say that all the time. It's always 9 with the satisfying ending.
But I get why people don't like it because of the whole Black Mage and Vivi situation. So I get where they're coming from. But that said, it's also kind of satisfying because like Vivi like set the pace for the Black Mages to like extend their community stuff and like have rules to live by and things. So there's that. And then also 10 and 10-2. 10 and 10-2 had very satisfying endings.
Yeah, but it is it's so funny because I know what happens at the end of 10 just because Jolie I think Jolie, I don't know if she's listening to this or not, but she just wants a happy ending. You know what I mean? And because 10 is like it's happy but then sad, that kind of like, it's kind of like the I'm not trying to spoil it for people who haven't played 10, but I'm sure a lot of people have. Most of you probably all played 10, but spoilers for 10, right? It's the Sixth Sense, like I see dead people sort of thing. Like he was never real, you know what I mean? Like, but you were in love with him or whatever. I don't actually know the whole ending. I just know that end thing where it's like I gotta go now, and she's like, what? yeah, it's the thing is Jolie just is bummed out about that because she really likes the love story in 10. And I think that gets a lot of people, but
Well, then has she played 10-2?
she did play 10-2. I don't know if she ever beat it. She actually the very first this is Jolie and Spencer lore. The very first Final Fantasy game that I ever touched in my life was Final Fantasy X-2 because Jolie was like she wanted to show me 10 and I'd always tease her about Final Fantasy, but she was like, "No, 10-2 has like really cool combat." I think she was worried about me being bored with turn-based combat, so she's like, "Well, 10 is like ATB turn-based, but it's like really sped up and you can do some really cool moves, you know?" And I remember watching like the J-pop girls like opening concert and I was like, "What is this?" You know?
That's,
but
that's Japanese right there, full
yeah.
on J-pop.
So it was hilarious with me, right? But anyway, but that was my first Final Fantasy game, which makes me laugh now that I think about it.
Okay, because 10-2 does have a happier ending. Well, it has a happy ending if you complete enough percentage of it, and if you know
the true ending,
if you know to whistle, it has a happy ending.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, I had to put up a defense for
that's
the,
okay. No,
the satisfying
totally
ending
fair.
there.
Like DK probably would, DK's not going to go to blows with you over that. He might not resonate with the endings as much as you, but that's okay. You know.
Well, not everybody's played all the games, right? And some
Totally.
people might find some things satisfying and other things not. So I get it.
Yeah, man.
I get it.
You get it.
How about
man.
those huge materia though?
Dude, okay, yeah, let's hang on. Let me pull it up here. So okay, I don't know the significance of the huge materia, but I know people they talk all about it. Okay, where is it? I'll just start playing the trailer. When you first see the weapon whales in Rebirth, right? And like Yuffie freaks out and she's like, "Materia!" She's all excited about it. I don't really get the whole they're synthesizing big materia with Scarlet, right? There's huge materia that aren't the weapon materia, right? Those are different, or are those the same? Because I haven't played the OG.
Mystery.
Right.
So the OG is you just like go around collecting these giant chunks of materia. Like I posted a picture in Discord. If you like looking at it, you can just scroll up in general chat. But you collect those huge materia. And then, if I'm remembering correctly, I think you try to use like the power of all the materia with the rocket in order to destroy Meteor, and that doesn't work out. So it's kind of like, okay,
that makes sense. Are
they going
to
do the same thing?
This is them collecting the the huge materia, and they've either got this on the High Wind or some other place, right? This is probably what that is. Is this on the High Wind? It looks like they're on the High Wind, but
it's somewhere. Could be Midgar even, I don't know, because the Magnus Materia was mentioned by Shinra, and I don't know if that's what they're calling the huge materia now.
Gotcha. And see, I'm not going to be helpful in this area because I don't know anything about it. But I know but I know a lot of like when you see the materia in the chests of like the weapons, right? But then this is them where they've collected some of them, and it looks like they're going to be using them for some ends in the game, right?
Right. And so like you got cool things when you collected the huge materia. So you got like I think it was the master magic, master command.
Cool.
And then like Bahamut Zero, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. It's been a while since I played the OG.
Yeah, that's okay.
But Bahamut Zero was super cool because like Space Dragon, who doesn't like Space Dragon?
Yeah. Love Space Dragon.
And so like that's very thematic because like a bunch of people come from space in order to cause problems on Gaia.
Yeah.
So you have a space dragon coming to cause problems for your enemies. But I'm really wondering
with Genova and the foreign entities, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm really wondering if they're going to have, because they spoiled some fit stuff. So I don't know if you noticed, but Tifa was just like doing regular combat.
Yeah, let's look at
her
Tifa here.
Black Mage.
But she's floating. She's not fighting like she normally does. Look at her go.
Right.
I'm gonna slow it
like
down.
She's using the Black Mage stuff to fly.
Yeah, she totally is. And it looks cool because she's like, this is her aerial combat, right? And Tifa, for those that this was actually huge for me because Tifa, even her aerial combat in Rebirth, they made it better for Cloud. She was still kind of hard to do. You could do the synergy skills where you would, toss her off of Cloud's Buster Sword and then she would start, fighting. But this feels like she's just kind of doing her moves, right? And she's like floating. She's using like yeah, magic, but then she lands on like a platform and then she comes back. Look at that. Yeah, that's
And she's
cool,
got those
man.
orbs, and
Yeah.
it's like you're collecting them or something.
Yeah.
So it's like, and the warrior UI, I don't remember from the first trailer, but
Yeah.
the warrior UI had like
Uh-huh.
3 resources too.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
I'm wondering
no, I
if there's
remember that.
like build up and cash out resources for these types of things.
Oh, okay, that would be cool. Like you're so like you're collecting them. Kind of, I mean, they have some mechanics like that with Yuffie where it's like on her ATB, you know, her abilities where she can build up a spell to make it more powerful. Maybe this is something that you're just doing. This doesn't look like you're pulling up the menu though. Maybe you're, you know, she's doing it within combat, and that's something that the fit system, you just get used to doing that. Because you can do combos with like Cloud and Tifa and, you know, kind of like her Omni Strike and her, I forget what it's called or whatever, you know, but she does do certain things, but maybe that could be a take on that.
Yeah. Omni Strike, and then like Unbridled Power,
Yeah,
and building
that
that up,
stuff.
or
Right.
like Trinity Strike and all those cool mechanics that she's got. It's gonna be interesting. Like how does the fits change things? And I think we're gonna find more next week. At
I think so
PAX.
too. I thought this is what we were gonna get at Gamescom, but because we didn't, I think they just kind of, like Dustin called it. Dustin was talking about how it's like very world building, and now I feel like with Endo, he's gonna be like, "Did you notice Tifa?" Maybe he'll show like only the fit systems that we've seen. Like we saw Barrett in the original trailer; he was like in this big white outfit or whatever. We saw Kate Sith in like a summoner like fits looking system, and then obviously Cloud was in that, you know, kind of cyberpunk looking outfit where he was, you know, fighting. Javier in chat says Tifa has orbs. What are you gooners talking about? Calm down, Javier. We're just talking about how cool Tifa looks. Tifa can look cool, guys. Yeah, but she does look like she's using her magic, and it's fun. I love this, like that, where she's in the air, she stops herself, and then she jumps towards the Jabberwock, and then she like unleashes some spell. But it feels like magic. It doesn't feel like, you know, Tifa like kicking and punching. So that was probably my favorite part of the trailer.
Yeah. What do you think of the marketing strategy that they're going for right now with the themes? So I kind of like it, but
Yeah.
I could see how people would like want them to
the
do
weapons
more
theme
than
and
just
stuff like that.
Yeah.
I thought it was a bit. To be honest, like I think it's cool, but I think it's a bit corny. Like with the not just the way they did it. Right here, I'll freeze frame it here. When they were like ruby weapon or whatever. Like I get right. This feels like a T-shirt that you could buy, and then like it's like, my favorite weapon is the emerald weapon.
They're making the merch for us.
Yeah, they're making the merch already. It kind of feels like that, not in a bad way, but like I'm newcomer to the series. I do not have any nostalgia for emerald weapon. I don't have any nostalgia for ruby weapon. I don't even know who these things are. They seem cool because they have unique designs, but again, like I was telling DK, I'm a little bit just like, like we're just gonna be fighting a bunch of monsters. Cool, right? Like for the people, the OG that know these people, and it's like we can get their materia and it unlocks all this cool stuff. Like shout out to you guys, right? But I just kind of am like a little bit more hesitant as to like, okay, like if this is an optional boss and this is something that we do, like maybe we only have to fight 2 of these, you know, and that's fine with me. But I mean, if they do like the weapons trailer, and then in like Tokyo Game Show or whatever, they give us like a fits trailer, and if they give us like, if they start piecemealing it out and fleshing out the game more, I'll be totally cool. I won't have any problem with the weapons or stuff like that, you know. But if it's just like, you know, I don't know, if they just kind of keep doing the same thing, I'll be a little bit like annoyed with the rollout. Because let me explain. If they like, I want to know what the game is, and right now all I get from the game is like, we're gonna be traversing the world and fighting these big things, right? The deep dive that we got at Summer Game Fest was better because it showed characters on foot, like exploring the Medeal Archipelago, and I know we're going to new locations, you know, like I'm sure we'll be going to towns. I'm sure we're gonna be doing similar stuff to what we did in the OG, maybe revisiting stuff, but it just feels like there's so much to get to in this game, which maybe it's just massive, and that's fine. But I'm just getting like, I'm like, what are we going to be doing in this game? Maybe it's just more of Rebirth, but with the stakes that are raised, you know? I don't know. That's kind of how I'm feeling.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, I get that. That makes sense. So like from that perspective, the themed releases of the marketing strategy feels a little eh. But then again, I think when I think about it, like ultimately everybody's going to be kind of like eh until the game comes out. So I'm
Sure.
at least just glad that they have a marketing
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
strategy.
I
So
mean,
like,
I'd take it rather than leave it, right? I would much prefer that we get it because like maybe I'm like man because I just don't have nostalgia for the weapons, right? When people are like ultimate weapon, diamond, it's like I don't know who these people are. I don't know who these
it's the
monsters are.
suffering that comes with it. That's
Yeah.
you had to suffer through these giant freaking kaijus and
Yeah.
fighting them, and you're like, oh my god, how do I deal with this? This is
Which
so
is cool
crazy.
though, but from like a mechanic standpoint though, that's something I'm interested in. The thing that I'm kind of bummed about I wish this game showed a little bit more. My question was, how are we going to defeat these weapons? Is it going to be cutscene things or like it showed submarine gameplay? Like you were actually navigating. It looked like we were navigating. Maybe I can bring it up here, but it looked like we were when we're fighting Emerald Weapon or something, right?
Right, it looks like you're piloting the
Like you're
submarine.
yeah,
which
yeah, yeah. So you're moving it and dodging it or whatever, which is cool. So because like okay, right there, this looks like gameplay, right? Let's see, right here, right? Doesn't
Mhm.
that? I don't think that doesn't look like a cutscene or whatever. But then it's like okay, then we go to cutscene where it's like Cloud and they're in the
And
submarine
boom.
and they're launching torpedoes. Like do we kill it in a cutscene or do we have to fight it in the submarine? So like what is submarine gameplay going to be like, right? What is Highwind gameplay going to be like? I know that they can't show everything, but now I'm kind of like I'm confused as to how involved it will be or if it's because this just seems like cutscene stuff to me. Like Sid's flying and you
Mhm.
shoot guns and stuff, right? But then it shoots at you and you're just like, "Okay, right?"
Yeah.
So,
No, I
I don't
got you.
know.
I honestly, I want them to keep things close to the vest. I think doing the submarine
Yeah.
thing the
Yeah,
way they
yeah.
did was cool because it looks like you might be playing, but you
Yeah.
don't know.
Right.
And I think leaving it a mystery like that is good. And I kind of hope that they don't
Yeah.
reveal everything. I don't want them to say like, yeah, for the weapons fights, you're going to have like multi-phased fights where you fight them in the submarine for one part, and then you fight them
Yeah, you
like
want to like
underwater
leave
for
that as
one
a
part.
surprise because you'll be like, "Whoa, that
Yeah.
was nuts," Yeah, for sure. It's just like I don't know. I as a newcomer, I'm like I want to know what to expect to play this game, but I trust them enough. I've played through 2 games and I love the combat system, so I'm not too worried about it. Um, I guess it's
I think
just
they'll pull it off.
yeah, it's gonna be cool. I'm see, you people like you give me hope, Graphs, because you're like they're threading that needle and maybe they pull it off for like the OG fans and they pull it off for the newcomers. Like it is a tightrope that they're walking, but I think it's cool that they're trying. I am nervous, like DK was talking about with the story. I am, I don't think I'll have a boring time playing this game. I think I'm going to have a great time. I'm not worried
Yeah.
about that. It's more of like, will they stick the landing with the story and um, yeah. So yeah, maybe
Well,
the market.
one other thing to think about is
Yeah.
the other vehicles. So I got to touch on that real quick
Oh, you're okay. Go ahead.
because there's the submarine, right? And it looks
Yeah.
like you might be using that for some of the fights.
Yeah.
So obviously you could be using the high wind for some of
Yeah.
the
Right.
fights
Right. Right.
too,
Right.
because they showed a lot of high wind there. But the buggy, they might bring back the buggy in order to deal with some of the
The
like
Ruby
ruby
weapon,
weapon
you're in
mechanics.
Corel. Yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
I mean, they did that scene where you're like when you're fighting Palmer, and they bring in the helicopter and stuff, right? But yeah, dude, we'll see. Who knows? But I'm happy for the content. Like, let's keep it coming. I don't have a problem with them drip feeding stuff. I'm just excited to hear about it, and it's going to be here before we know it. I know it's forever for people that have like been waiting for this game forever, but I feel like once Remake released in 2020, it was just like we're on this train. There's no stopping it, kind of thing.
Yeah, 7 months isn't that long. Like
It's
it's
not bad.
probably coming out between 7 or 8 months from now, realistically.
Yeah,
So it's not that far off.
totally, man. Well, thanks for calling in. You can join back with the crew or whatever, or you can do whatever. But thanks for calling in.
All right, thanks, Spencer.
Yeah, see you, Grass.
Bye.
All right, Steven. I'm pulling you in. Let me grab you. Okay, what's up, Steven? Can you hear me? You are live, man.
Yeah, I hear you.
Cool. Well, what's up, man? How are things in Indonesia? When we heard that earthquake, we were worried about you.
Uh,
But you said it was on a different island, so it didn't
I
affect you.
think yes, It's very surprise for me because when I open the Discord, there's many chats. But hey, Stephen, how about you? We What about you? What will surprise for me because then it's common
Yeah.
any die, main building destroyed, and etc. etc.
Yeah, I'm turning you up because you're kind of quiet, Steven. You can talk into the mic a little louder, but
Hello, hello. Hey,
yeah, there
do
you
you
go, there
hear
you go.
me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you say it's very common to have earthquakes in Indonesia?
Yes, because in my life I have maybe maybe five earthquakes in my life.
Uh-huh.
That's not strong as that, but it's very surprised because I need to go out home, and when I can work, I at maybe second floor. I must go down to the first floor and then get out for the building.
Yeah, you got to get out because you can't be upstairs. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I've never been in like a big earthquake before. I live in Utah. I was in California, and California did have earthquakes.
Or
And I remember the first time that I felt an earthquake in California, it really freaked me out. It's like that was the first time the ground that I had always stood on in my entire life like was not something that I could rely on. And I like had a little like a mini panic attack, and it wasn't like a bad earthquake. It was fine, you know. And Jelly was just laughing at me because Jelly had lived out in California for like 10 years before I moved out there we got married and I moved out to California to be with Jelly. And I felt an earthquake and it was so like, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is freaking me out. And she's like, this is nothing, you know. But from where I'm
right.
from in Utah, you don't feel it as much because you're next to the mountains and stuff, and they don't happen as frequently. There is a fault that's like through Utah, but it's not very active. Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad that you're safe. I know that a lot of people in the Discord were worried about you when they heard about because it was a pretty big earthquake, right? It was like a 7 point something.
7.7.
Yeah, it's huge. That's a big earthquake. It's not like one of those ones you hear about like in Tokyo or whatever that was like a 9 something, but still 7.7 is massive. You there?
I can
Oh yeah.
hear you. I
Yeah,
cannot
yeah.
hear you.
I'm here. Can I ask you a question, Steven?
Of course.
So I was wondering because you talk about using your mobile game and stuff a lot because of your limited access to certain things in Indonesia, obviously the economy and things that you have to deal with. But how do you get access to internet? Is that something that you pay like a mobile phone plan where you get like mobile data? Is that how you're talking to us now, or do you go somewhere to be on the internet?
What I use Wi-Fi in my home. There is Wi-Fi.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you have what you pay like an internet. I know this sounds naive, but I don't know how it works. So it's like in America, the infrastructure is like you pay an internet service provider. They provide internet in your local area, right? And I'm not trying to
Oh,
sound like I don't know if
uh,
like it's
maybe
like
it's almost same, but in Indonesia, they are we not pay for the government. We pay for the operator to provide us the Wi-Fi in our home. So
yeah. Okay.
when you
So
want to have
the government doesn't pay for it, or it does.
no individually us, but
Okay.
if
Yeah.
you
So you
want to uh if in our community we want to use Wi-Fi, so we pay it for
uh
ourselves. So if and uh, for example, if it's $50, so we
yeah
pay $5 each to a operator, and we as community can use the Wi-Fi maybe for 10% or with 20% like that. So it's not
yeah. Okay. So you do
government
like a
but
community.
ourselves.
You share the Wi-Fi together. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's cool. I mean, good for you guys figuring it out, right? Because it can get pricey, but okay. Because yeah, I pay $60 just for my house, right? But that's very common in America, and $60 is actually pretty cheap for
$60.
yeah, $60 for
Wait.
internet. Is that crazy to
Yes.
you?
Of course, that's very, very pricey for us.
Sure, yeah. We pay $60 just our individual household, like just me and Jolie, and it costs but it's like that's for a gigabit internet, so that's like 1,000 megabits per second down and up, right?
Maybe if I convert it, maybe about 8.5, $8.5 a month for me
Well, that's
for
interesting because
internet.
I was wondering about like if you had to, because I know some people who don't have access to internet everywhere, but that's awesome that you have it in your home, right? Because then you can talk to us, we can do things like this. It's cool because you're on a call on the internet on Discord and you're talking to all these people, which is fun, you know? I don't know. I think it's cool. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I'm glad that you can
And
figure that out.
uh, I want to discuss about ending, but maybe it's because you're Western from America and me from Indonesia, from the East.
Yeah.
And my mother used to watch many Korean drama and Chinese one, and
Okay.
my father like Indian or maybe another's. That's we have many kind as open ending like Final Fantasy or maybe another game from Japanese developer or East developer. That like common, and
Uh
I
huh.
don't know because we don't me individually don't have money for maybe subscription from Netflix or maybe Amazon
Right.
Prime or another. So maybe that's why we use to watch each drama as our entertainment.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't even watch any TV or film anymore. Which is sad. I used to be more involved in like that, but there's so much to watch. We don't subscribe too much. I think we have a Netflix subscription, but that's like Joe so Jolie can watch like documentaries and stuff. But it makes sense like how like East versus like Eastern dramas versus Western, right? Like things are going to be different. We obviously experience and perceive the world differently than, than everyone else. Like so growing up in America, I was surrounded by Hollywood and the things that were popular at that time, and I had access to a lot of entertainment. So that has influenced, how I see stories, but then I also started reading books, the things that I found that I liked in certain stories, those sort of things resonated with me. And then also games. Like I started gaming at a very young age, and certain games that were story focused became some of my favorites, right? So I think that's a big thing for a lot of people in Final Fantasy VII, right? Final Fantasy VII was a big deal for a lot of people, especially when it comes to stories, because Final Fantasy VII, if you think about it, is just like a talkie game. You know, when you first played it, you had the turn-based combat and you would level it up, but really you were going from town to town, from NPC to NPC, and you were talking with your party members, and you had dialogue boxes, and you just read a story. That's essentially what JRPGs could do, because they could tell this amazing story, and you could go kind of throughout the adventure playing, as you leveled up.
Yeah.
But like if you play Zelda is a fun game, but you're not like talking to every villager, you're not talking to every town, you're not getting this story that's like you're reading like a novel or something like that, right? Whereas Final Fantasy was kind of that for and like way earlier than, some of the other games that it took place during the same time. I think I was telling you guys when I finished Final Fantasy 1. Had I played Final Fantasy 1 when I was a kid on the NES, I would have been like, this is the coolest thing ever, because I didn't really experience story in games. You would kind of make up the stories. It's like, well, Zelda, you go and you try to, get the Triforce, and you
Yeah.
kill Ganon. And it's like you just would walk around and hit things on each
As
screen, right?
Indonesia, as you know, that Indonesia is very recently Switch Nintendo
Yeah.
is legally can purchase in Indonesia. It's only maybe within a month. That's not legally we can purchase it yet. Maybe 2027,
Uh
maybe
huh.
or maybe October. I don't know. I don't uh read the news. So it's very difficult for us to play Nintendo games. I don't know
Okay,
about
I didn't know that.
another. Yes, I don't know about another Nintendo, but for especially Switch game, it's very very difficult for us to play it. So we use emulator and that. So
Yeah.
it's very. I know it's technically illegal, but it's
No, I know. I
very.
understand you being in your region. Like I'm not gonna shame you and say you shouldn't emulate games. That's totally up to you. To me, it's like now that you have more access to Nintendo and like I can't sit here and lecture you as a American who's like by all the world standards a rich person, right? Where I've got things in my life that you don't, right? And I'm not gonna say like, well, don't play video games. I just I get that, so don't feel bad.
Right.
Yeah,
And
but I think
maybe
it's
I want to discuss about Revelation a little bit because
yeah.
I think it very I kind of hype because we can use another gameplay like as you see we can face the enemy with maybe high wind or maybe
Yeah.
submarine to face enemy boss maybe if we can use that for face another enemy.
Hmm.
It's like remind me like Nier Automata. Of course, maybe you never
I've
play
never played Nier
Nier
Automata, but
Automata
I know
before.
that there's lots of different types of gameplay. Like it's not just a hack and slash game but you can do all
Yes,
sorts of stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's very very main. Or
Hmm.
maybe different gameplay that I love about that, and maybe another game in Gamescom because I love tactics like Rainbow Six, maybe Rainbow Six Tactics.
Gotcha. Yeah.
That's and maybe what is Yakuza Yuga Gotoku? Maybe Ranger from Heaven is I can hype that too.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you're excited about that? Did you say? Yeah. I just like. I think it's exciting that you get to experience these things. So like, are you? I know that the high wind is cool. The submarine is cool, but the thing I'm worried about is the combat that we've been experiencing with the combat that we're seeing on screen right now. So we've got Cloud and Tifa fighting. Like that's the combat that's fun and exciting. To be fair, well, maybe not to be fair to Rebirth, to kind of to be mean to Rebirth. Every time that we're using like a vehicle section when I'm driving that buggy or when we're doing other gameplay sections like minigame stuff, I think the combat kind of sucks. I think like it's like more gimmicky than it is fully realized, right? So maybe the submarine will be cool, maybe the high wind will be cool, but my fear is if those are like some alternative combat things that we get to do, it might be kind of lame to play as the high wind when you're fighting, it might be more of a chore because my example is like when you fight Palmer in Rebirth, right? After you fight him, you have to kind of do this mini game where you're controlling the dune buggy and you have to avoid its missiles, right? And then Barrett is like shooting, you know, it shoots Palmer's robot that's chasing you, and you're doing all these other things, and I'm just like, this is not what I want to be doing, right? I get that they're trying to differentiate gameplay, that they're trying to mix it up, that it's not just the three party members in, combat, but I do worry at all the different systems that they're going to introduce that they will feel half baked and kind of boring. But I could be wrong. Who knows?
Yes, of course, that's the players did very worry about because at
Yeah.
the and I think I don't know about you, but I think Tifa is more like red mage than flex mage because if we use their lore, maybe red mage is only use magic, but she use her fish too, right? That she can remind me like red mage than flex mage.
Yeah, yeah. She did kind of like Black Mage Tifa seemed more like maybe like a Red Mage Tifa, right? Even though it says Black Mage, but she's still fighting. Like we saw her, fighting the Jabberwock earlier on in the trailer where she's at here. We see her fighting, which is yeah, she's still punching, like boom, boom, she's still doing something, doing like kicking, doing acrobatic things. She kicked him, but she's using like kind of more magic animations, right? Which is fun. But I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Right.
we'll have to see how it all plays out, But I don't know, Steven. It's going to be a good time. I just feel like we're just going to get more and more. I think the more and more we learn about it, we'll see how fleshed out certain systems are, and then we'll see like if things are kind of boring. I don't expect the high wind gameplay to be the highlight of my time with the game. I'll just say that. But I think it'll be a
Of
nice
course,
change of
yes.
pace if it's fun, right? But thanks for calling in, Steven. Always good to hear from you. I'm glad that you're safe.
Thanks.
Yep. Talk to you later, man. All right, we've got Czilla here. I don't think we've talked to Czilla before, but what's up? Czilla, you are live. Sorry to make you wait so long.
No worries, man. How are you?
Good, good. Have you ever called in before?
No, it's my first time actually. I've seen your guys stream whenever you guys get on.
Oh, cool. Awesome, man. Yeah, we're kind of like, I don't know if you know the kind of Jolie's my wife. She's the main Final Fantasy fan in the household. She's kind of pulled me on board. I was like a Nintendo kid. I didn't have Final Fantasy growing up, so I'm like the newcomer to the series.
Pulled or drag?
Yeah. So wait, the old. Sorry, say that again.
No, I was just saying when you said that she pulled you, I was like pulled or dragged you into Final Fantasy.
Yeah, she pulled me into it. Like she pulled me into it, but she didn't drag. I think Final Fantasy is actually really cool. I used to tease her and make fun of her for it. Because I'd always make fun of the turn-based, combat. I'm like, I grew up on Zelda and I grew up on Mario that are like very interactive, snappy, you push a button, things happen. When I watched turn-based, I was like, well, they just sit there and you have to wait and take turns, which is hilarious because then I got into Pokemon. I'm 39 years old. Red and Blue. I had a Game Boy Color. I was like obsessed with that. So huge Pokemon fan.
Yeah.
And that turned my
Especially for little kids.
Yes.
It's hard to that RPG lock. Sometimes you just kind of like you can't figure it out and you get frustrated. Just on top and feeling that when you're playing games as a kid, just
but it like
go,
changed my brain to like I can like turn-based, and then I was like way into it, and then I got back into. I'm like, oh, Final Fantasy is like way cooler than Pokemon, right? Pokemon's an awesome game, but it wasn't like it was going on an adventure doing these cool things, and I didn't have to like collect these little cute monsters, which was no shade to Pokemon, but I was like, had I known that Jolie was legit. So anyway, but yeah, so Jolie was the one who started the channel, and then I've just been kind of tagging along for a little while. She lets me run this Wednesday stream, which is a mistake because I say all the worst things and get us in trouble with the fans. I'm kidding, but
no, it's all good.
Cool, man. So yeah, but like as far as like whatever you want to talk about, how you feeling about Revelation so far, the marketing cycle, how you feel about, I don't know if you caught the earlier part of the stream, but like the rating,
I got a good chunk of well, the rating, I think I just chalk it up to what you mentioned in the article before, how they put it up as a ability that it's just a placeholder. And I think that's it's been very interesting watching you have this general feeling of like asking what are we going to do, in terms of like combat and like how we're gonna go. I don't know if you caught that news note. There was going to be a playable demo.
Yeah, I did.
Creator.
People are playing it right now.
So it's going to be interesting to see what they can share with us. Their first impressions, and they're going to be showing, because I'm sure they're going to be very selective on what people can see from the first get go, and if that's going to be any different later on Tokyo Game Show, to see if it's going to be a different look or focusing on a different section or whatnot.
You make a good point, because I think that's important, right? Because we've been getting information from the same sources over and over and over again. We get interviews from Hamaguchi. Like how many times has that man given interviews, right? He can only say the same thing.
To be honest,
so many times.
The interviews, you kind of just for each interview, you just garner one little tidbit because somebody asked them. They've all been generally.
Yeah, and he's careful with his words. He understands what to say and what not to say. It kind of feels like, it's fun every time Hamaguchi gives an interview, but then, people use it for ammunition for whatever they think is going to happen online or whatever. But the idea is, it's like it's been the same people giving the information. So now that they're opening the gameplay to, the public, not the public, but like to behind closed doors, but to content creators and to journalists, they're doing that so that they can write previews on the game that they played, right? So we'll get to see
Yeah.
their opinions on the game. So I totally agree with you. This is something that's exciting, and that's because it's not coming out of Hamaguchi's mouth, right? It's not Katase. It's not, Square Enix themselves. It's, other outlets, and we'll have to hear what they say.
And I believe they did say about the game show that was going to be playable to the public.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
so
yeah, that's what I
they do
had
put-
heard.
I
I just
think-
didn't know
I
if
think
that was
that's
for sure, but it'll probably be a similar build to whatever they're playing here. Yeah, when is Tokyo Game Show? That's like in like a month or something, right? It's coming up soon. It's like sometime in the fall.
Yeah, usually I think it's probably like the last kind of big game show for the year, right?
Yeah,
It
before
closes
Game
out everything.
Awards, right? Because like you have Game Awards is like in December, and that's like a big celebration, right? That's the last one of the year. But then Tokyo Game Show happens, I think, like a little bit before that. Yeah. Okay. So Graph says it's a month away. Gotcha. Yeah, man. I mean, so like, tell me about your history. You've been following us for a little bit, but let me know a little bit about like your excitement for this. Are you someone that's like, did you play the OG when you were younger, or is it something you came into later? And then how excited are you for Revelation? And do you think that they're gonna do well? I know that's a lot, but tell us what you think.
No, of course. Yeah, I mean, just real quick on kind of like the origin. Yeah, I enjoyed the game when I was a kid. Because I'm a '90s kid as well.
Okay, cool.
And
Yeah.
I was 8, but was aware of 7, how big it was, and just kind of gathering in all the the media and the hype.
Yeah.
I did play them. I enjoyed them, but I didn't get, like attached to it in a sense. Kind of like making it part of me, and really endearing myself to the story and the characters. It wasn't until later on,
Right.
when the whole remake came on, when I kind of got really, way deep into it. Theories,
Cool.
breakdown, conversations, and all that.
So are you like
And,
looking for all the details? You're like, okay, this is huge materia. This is Magnus materia. You're like, this is the you're the type of person that can like pick these things out in the trailer. Where I'm like, feel totally.
I'm doing that like now, and then for the Tokyo Game Show as well, because what I usually do, you're kind of new to it, but I kind of wanted to give you guys a warning in terms of, if you look at the very last trailer for Rebirth, they gave away so much info. If you just look at it like retrospectively, you're like, oh my god, I can't believe they showed that. So that's what I'm trying to get everything in
trailers
before. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want the last trailer. I'm not seeing anything, blacking out of everything. I'm not watching or hearing anything.
Okay, you're like going radio silent. You don't want to be spoiled anymore because you're already in. You're locked in. You're like,
yeah. Well, for the last trailer, whenever that's.
Gotcha.
Now it's and I just wanted to touch on real quick on the fit. I believe there was I can't say for sure, but I believe in an interview he mentioned that each character was going to have like a like 4 fits.
Okay, yeah, I did hear that. Yeah, like each one. So
I'm guessing each one's going to have like a specific branch, I think, set.
Yeah, because I don't think it'll just be 4 fits, right? Because that was the worry where it was like, because we've already seen one of them. So like Cloud has a warrior fit on. That's the and then there was like Tifa's Black Mage one. I think that, but like maybe Tifa can only have 4 and Cloud can only have 4, but that doesn't mean that those fits have to be identical. At least that's what I'm gathering. I could be wrong though.
I think that's the big crux. Like if it's going to be where you can choose, or where it's already set, like they're going to have these 4 characters.
Gotcha. Like everyone has a warrior or black mage, and like whatever the other 2 are.
I just had a question about like, we knew we were going to get a trailer for a Gamescom.
Mm-hmm.
What was the difference for you between what we saw in Gamescom and what you were expecting?
Yeah, I was expecting. So I was expecting that they were going to be less world building. I didn't know that they were going to feature the weapons because I feel like we already kind of got that at Summer Game Fest. Like Summer Game Fest had Sapphire weapon, right, the closing shot with they're I think Junon. I could be wrong. See, I'm dumb with this stuff. But like they're it's coming out of the water and they're doing that. They did a bunch of other stuff where they showed in Medeal when they're fighting the like pink weapon whale. I call it the weapon whale. It's taken form and Tifa's there running towards it, I'm like, okay, like they already are showing us that we're fighting the weapons, and then it just kind of feels like a little bit more of the same. I was thinking that they would like maybe talk about that a little bit, but then really go into, I thought we'd get more Fits stuff, because in a week's time at PAX West, they're going to be hanging out with the battle director, Endo and Hamaguchi, right? And they're going to be showing stuff off at PAX. So I was thinking, like, obviously they'll have him, and he's going to be talking about certain combat mechanics, because there's a lot of speculation based on what fit that you're wearing, what that's going to end up determining if you can summon certain things, because I don't know if you remember in the trailer, you probably do, because you sound like you watch these a bunch, but there was like when you summon Ifrit, right? Like he had like a flame icon next to us, but then there was some that had different, like a green icon, and there was like a blue icon. And people were like, are those tied to the fits that you can do things, or is it just, or those just the like, will there be actual like elemental damage, or there'll be certain things that are be effective against others that they didn't really have that? And when you assess an enemy in this game, it'll tell you its weaknesses or whatever, but this had like an icon next to a summon, or maybe that was attached to a certain fits type thing. So I wanted to get, what's it going to be like to play this thing? What's Endo going to talk about at PAX West? And maybe we'll find out more. Maybe that's something that we're leading up to that Graphs has been talking about. He says, I hope PAX marketing is either fits or combat teaser trailers, this, similar like that. But I do kind of want to feel like what's new for Revelation, because we played we played Remake, and that was awesome. It was like the first time we got to control these characters, and it was just like, that was the first time we were experiencing the Materia system for a brand new game, right? But then Rebirth gave us synergy skills and abilities where we could do things with parties and synergize with them. They had like backline commands, like if you were dying, you could call in, party members from the other parts of the roster or the party would come help you. There was lots of things that Rebirth iterated on. So I wanted to be like, what other things is Revelation going to iterate on? And I feel like we didn't really get that, other than that just brief glimpse of Tifa fighting in her fits and showing the different animations, like Graphs was talking about, collecting those orbs. The animations were, different, stuff like that. But
in terms of combat, I had a feeling, I don't know if you felt that, in terms of combat for Rebirth, that there were certain mechanics that they kind of lightly touched on that they wanted to incorporate more. Maybe, I don't know if they were safe, or maybe they didn't have enough time in a larger scale. You remember, like when you would have your three in your party, but then they would be characters in the back doing. It was very insignificant, but you'd have like shooting from way back. So I think
like he's
maybe
there.
something like that.
Yeah.
These mechanics and then the fits, they're going to be, I feel, in a sense that they're going to be a little twists and to change up, because people have been playing Rebirth for a while. You have the people who do those crazy shenanigans. They're trying to kind of a little twist and that. So I think that might be, they're going to change and add some synergies to it, maybe more complexity to it. But I don't know if it'll be.
Too.
Yeah.
Well, I think they got Revelation out so quickly after Rebirth. Rebirth was the last AAA game that Square Enix put out for Final Fantasy, right? So like the fact that we didn't get any, interstitial, like, I don't know if I said the word right, any in between, games or whatever in between that time period. We're getting Final Fantasy Resonance in October, but that feels like, obviously a different team, pixel art, HD 2D. But as far as like the big AAA releases, it's just like they literally, as soon as Rebirth launched, they were like booking into Revelation, right? They were working on that. They were like making this. So yeah, maybe they won't iterate too much on it. The fit system is already a big enough change that I think it like won't matter, So I just want to know more about that. But it's funny because I feel like this will feel very similar to Rebirth with the new mechanics of the fit stuff, and that's enough of a change for me. To be honest, I don't need them to have like a brand new combat system. I don't need them to do all that stuff. That stuff is like cherry on top. I'm just happy that they got this game out within 3 years, which is incredible. That's very, very, very rare for AAA games to get games out that quickly. But they kept the team together. They didn't change the engine. They're using the same assets, like the character models. I just think it's a really smart move.
Felt the combat in Rebirth and Remake. Yeah, they had their kind of mechanics that you get into more deeply, like you really wanted to. But at the end of the day, Remake and Rebirth are kind of, you can, if you wanted to, like, you know, I don't say the normies, people who don't go into combat mechanics.
I
You can
get it.
just mash square and, you know, do the AT whatever
Yeah,
match. And I think at the end of the day, they're still going to be, they still want a big for the game for most.
Yeah.
That if they want to do that, you know,
Yeah.
to not alienate, or they don't want it to be like a Souls game.
Yeah, I don't think they'd either. Like they added parries in Rebirth. That was new, like perfect parries. Like you could right, like so like that feels kind of Souls like where it's like you can dodge, you can block attacks that are, you know, telegraphed. That was cool. But it was still like you said, you could still just kind of spam, you know, whatever square, you know, and you could hit people, but then you know, can pause time and pick your battle, you know, pick your stuff. So anyway, but cool, man. I'm excited. I think it's going to be cool. I just I do want to know more, but I'm not worried because I know it's going to be like a constant feed of information. And like you said, I think the most important thing that you brought up tonight was that we're going to be getting opinions from other people soon. So it's cool that other people are playing it, and it won't be that long. They were saying, so Graph says September 17th through the 21st is Tokyo Game Show. That's less than a month away, and that's supposedly like a public, you know, hands-on demo there, which is very cool. So we will be learning more shortly. Also,
Well,
what
really?
Go ahead.
I was going to say another part's going to be exciting and leading up to release is being pushed in a sense. Seeing Final Fantasy pop up in different, you know, I think we've seen. And you saw that they had like a collab with, you know. I think there's going to be more surprises later on here.
I think they're
We'll see,
withholding a lot of stuff. Totally.
Commercials, yeah. Just exciting stuff like that. You know,
Yeah, man.
like
They're
pull the OG commercials. You know, why not?
Yeah, dude. I think that they're keeping so much hidden. And that's what's funny because a lot of people, the sentiment after Gamescom was like, that was kind of like not a lot. It's totally fine, right? I just think like that's okay. Like you can drip feed us because if they want to surprise us, I think calling it revelation means they want to reveal something to us, and they can't reveal the surprise before the game comes out because that defeats the purpose of like even making the game. So we'll see. But you know, if they show us more of what they're gonna do, I'm excited about it. But yeah, man. Thanks for joining the call. If you want, now we're gonna open it up to. Orion Power's here. So, he's in the waiting room, and then we'll get Orion, and then we'll open it up to the group. But thanks for calling in, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, like you can call in anytime. We do call-in shows every other week. So we're just gonna talk about the latest news. And my whole thing as a streamer is like I don't claim to know more than any of you. You guys know more than I do, but I like giving a platform for people to come in and share their opinions. A lot of times it's just you hear the same opinions from the same streamers over and over again, so it's fun having fresh blood come in and give their thoughts. So.
Of course, no. I've learned a lot just kind of you guys streams and just other callers for sure.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you called in this time. Nice meeting you, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
likewise.
later. All right, Orion, I saw you. You weren't in there before, but you're here now. I think I got you now. What's up, dude?
Hey, Spencer. How's it going?
Good, man. Okay, it's so funny because I'm learning names, but I know that we knew you. Did you give us your name, or should I just call you Orion Power? I can't remember.
You can call me. I think Jolie actually said my name initially on chat when I first said.
She knew because you joined our Discord like Praetion, right? And then I'm like, you like totally are doxing this guy.
I mean, my name is Brian. You can call me Brian if you want. I answer.
But we can call you whatever you want. If you want to be Brian or if you want to be whatever you want me to call you, you let me know.
Brian's fine.
Okay.
That works.
What's up, Brian? What's up, dude?
Nothing, man. Just enjoying the new trailer that came out, and
yeah, dude. Look at this. Look at Tifa just dropping. Here's the real superhero pose. Look at this. Tifa doesn't even use a parachute. She just comes straight down from the high one like that.
Right down, slams into the ground. She's ready to go.
Dude, it's awesome. Shout out.
He was like, "Come on, I'm ready to kick some tail."
Right, totally, man. Yeah, it's funny.
I mean, I mean, this is for me. This is a great time to be a fan. I mean, I
Yeah.
think I've mentioned this before, but the remake series was actually the first Final Fantasy that I've ever been involved with.
Okay, that was like the one that I played. I talked about dabbling in other ones, but the one that I sat down and finished and played was Remake.
Yeah, because I mean, growing up, I never even knew anything about Final Fantasy. I was strictly a Nintendo guy growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So video games for me, that was like Mario, Zelda, Metroid.
Yep. Me too.
But a friend of mine recommended Final Fantasy to me, and I never really paid much attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the first time I think I actually saw any of these characters was in Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, cool.
And
So
even
you
then,
were
I'm like,
interested in Kingdom Hearts. That's rad, dude.
yeah. I mean, I saw those characters in Kingdom Hearts, and I'm like, okay, I have no clue who any of you are, but apparently you're from Final Fantasy. That's cool.
That was the dream, right? That was like the Final Fantasy. That was the Trojan horse. You get these Final Fantasy characters inside the collab game, right? Kingdom Hearts,
Exactly.
right? And then it's like, who's Cloud Strife? Oh, like I gotta find this out. Which is funny because
exactly.
because they don't do that in 3, which is hilarious to me. It's like that's like, I mean, Kingdom Hearts has become its own thing, so that's the argument that it doesn't need Final Fantasy characters anymore. Yeah. But it's funny to me. It's like you have this huge franchise. You got to get all these Disney people to love Final Fantasy, you know?
Well, I mean, they did end up tacking the Final Fantasy characters into 3 in DLC.
Okay, that's okay. They got them in there eventually. Huh?
Yeah, there was like a couple scenes in DLC. I think they had like Yuffie and Sid, and I want to say Aerith was there too. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Interesting,
but it was just literally added on because I think a lot of people complain like, where are the Final Fantasy characters at?
Where did they go? Well,
where did they go?
Disney owns the franchise, right? So they get to choose what's in there, right? So if they're like, we don't want Cloud Stripe, we don't want Aerith, we don't want Tifa.
We don't need none of that. We're follow Sora. He's our character.
Yeah, just make sure you go to the Frozen Land and you see Elsa and Anna.
I mean, but in terms of when I finally got into Final Fantasy, Remake was my first game.
Cool. Yeah,
so I went in there completely blind. I had no clue about the past or anything that was famous about it.
Yeah.
Yes, I am one of the rare people who had no clue about Aerith and her history, and despite the fact that it's probably one of the most famous things in video game history.
Totally. Me too, man. I mean, like I knew about it though. I'm different than you because I had heard about it from my PlayStation friends. They're like, Aerith, let me tell you all about it, you know. But I never played it, so I'm similar to you in that way.
So yeah, Remake was my first game for it, and then immediately for Remake, it's like, okay, Rebirth had just come out by the time I had played Remake.
Perfect timing, man.
So it's like, okay, I just went straight into Rebirth right after that, because I'm like, I can't stop. I'm like,
yeah, dude.
I fell in love with the story. I love the characters. So it's like, I had to keep going, and then it went into the endless wait for more after that.
Yeah, now you're with the rest of us now.
Exactly. So I mean, but it was almost like those were my gateway games because it's like I went from there to Crisis Core.
Okay.
Because I had to know more about Zack after everything they showed us. Like I have to know more.
Yep.
And I finally did end up playing the OG just because I got way too impatient to find out what happened next.
No, that's cool. Okay, cool. I mean, I want to play the OG, and I've told this 100 times, but I am purposely choosing not to play the OG so I can give that perspective of the people that are only playing these remakes, right?
Absolutely, and I love that you guys are doing that in your streams too, because that's one of the things I really like about listening to your all's deep dives is that is the different perspectives you guys bring.
Yeah, we're all different, and I know we criticize the game a lot, but we do want it to do well. But then we've got Ernest, who's more positive on everything. Jolie loves the series, but then she's got some issues with the storytelling, and then I love the mechanics and stuff, but then I have some issues about certain storytellings. But I'm like, I love that you've been on stream with us. You've been following us as we've been playing the remake stuff, right?
Yes.
Even with the qualms, and I know that it's easy to criticize, and I think we criticize a lot sometimes, And I don't think our criticisms are totally like, out of left field. I think we honestly believe what we say, but these games are just so fun, regardless of what we think. So I mean, we're still having the time of our lives playing these, and it is still this is my most anticipated game.
Oh, absolutely. I think it was like in the last stream, or I think I remember we were having discussions about Tifa.
Yeah.
And
I
the
was
issue we were
crashing
having
out.
with Tifa as a character. Yeah, and I'm like, I totally get that. I mean, I love Tifa. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of all of the characters, but there's points in these games where, like, okay, I have serious issues with how she acts.
Yeah, dude, I was so frustrated with you. I can tell you now because we're on stream, but like we just played through chapter 11, and if you guys remember chapter 11 in Rebirth, there's that scene where Cloud is remembering. He's like, Zach Fair, like I knew him, right? Because he goes into the inn hotel and he has that little Mako migraine, and then when they're walking on the bridge going up to the Nibelheim reactor, he's like, Zach died, and Tifa's like, oh, great, Cloud, you're remembering. Don't tell anyone. She's like, let me take care of all this stuff. And she's like, slowly being like, I will make sure this is okay. It's like, wait, why are you like, why can't he tell Barrett? Why can't he tell Red? Why does he, it felt like she was trying to kind of manipulate and control the whole, situation to me. I'm like, this is weird. But that's just me, playing as a newbie. I don't know the whole story, so all the OG people are like, she did it for a good reason. Justice for Tifa's in chat and says, yes, it was only a matter of time. Justice for Tifa always comes in every time I criticize Tifa. So.
I mean, I was right there with you on that, Spencer, because, I mean, when I played Rebirth, I didn't really know the original story then either. So it was like, you were the one, like, sitting listening to Tifa talking to Cloud about Zach dying and or drowning and everything. I'm like, wait a minute. She was there. She's supposed to know the truth.
She knows that it's not true. Yeah, it's bonkers, dude.
The truth.
Yeah, when we go into it hard in our next deep dive, because Jolly's she's cruising. She's working on the B-roll right now, so she's like, the dialogue editing is done, and now she's working on B-roll, which is actually a shorter part. So we're almost done with chapter 11, and we did the whole thing in one deep dive. It's a 5-hour episode, but we knocked it out so people can enjoy it.
I'm really looking forward to that because I have my issues with that scene, so I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say about it.
Yeah, we have some thoughts, but but still, like, obviously we wouldn't be talking about it if we didn't love these things. Very cool. So can I ask you, how did you find us? Was it something like just YouTube or something else?
Yeah, it was YouTube.
Cool.
I was looking for just what kind of Final Fantasy stuff was out there. I mean, I haven't played all of the games. I mean, after 7, I did play 16.
Yeah.
And I have played 15 as well.
Yeah. That's me too. We played about the similar games. You played OG 7 though. How many other OG ones have you gone back and played?
Well, let me think. I did play 10 because my friend recommended. They're like, you have to play 10.
Yeah, 10 is a big
they're like,
one.
you absolutely have to play 10. So I did play through 10, and I liked 10.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, when I bought it, it was one of those compilations where it's like 10 and 10.2 were in the same package.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I'll go on to 10.2. But then immediately when I went to 10.2, I'm like, I got so jarred from the difference between 10 and 10.2. Like, I have to stop. This is not the character I met in the last game.
That's Yuna, dude, with her, like, she's got her shorts on now, and she's a J-pop star.
I mean, she went from a priest to a pop princess. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Thanks, Alyssa. I saw your chat, yeah. Yeah, man, I don't know. It's so funny. There is... I think Final Fantasy, there's a game for everyone. I criticize 16, obviously. I don't think it meets the mark for what they were trying to go for, but I think there are people that can enjoy it for what it is, and I think it's, it's a flawed but fun game. Like I said, I platinumed it, I beat it all, I enjoyed the combat, but it just felt like I was playing like an action game,
Yeah, I enjoyed 16, but I agree. It had its issues. I wasn't entirely pleased with the ending. The ending, I think, could have been better.
Yeah, me too.
I
I
mean,
agree.
and I was kind of the same way with 15 as well. I mean,
Yes,
I
yes.
like 15 overall, but the ending was just really depressing.
It is, dude. And it's like, oh, okay. You and Jolie would get along. You, DK, and yeah, Jolie. It's so funny because Jolie likes a lot of these things, but she just feels like the narrative buildup doesn't justify the endings that they've given us. She's like, 15 is great, right? Like, Noctis is the the destined prince to like sacrifice himself to like stop the darkness and all the things that happen. But she's like, they don't foreshadow it well enough. You have some big exposition dump by Bahamut at the end of like after he stays in the crystal forever, and he's just like, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna go sacrifice yourself, go do it. And you're like, okay. Okay, I guess that's what we're doing. Whereas like, I think like if they would have done more with his father and been like, this is your duty and these are the things that happen for the kings of the past, there's all that stuff there, but it's just clunky.
But what really does crack me up in the middle of all that depression is that he ends up with Luna Freya. It's like, Luna Freya, I'm sorry, I can't buy that relationship.
Yes. You're so preach, Brian.
Half the time I wonder, do they even really know each other? Because it feels like there's no connection here.
Of course they know each other. They sent those dog pen pals back and forth to each other so they could chat.
I feel like Doc loved the dog more than he did in Brea.
Yes,
but
I agree.
But what cracks me up is that the mechanic of the game at the end, where they had that scene where Nock chose one of the pictures.
Yeah. Oh, it's so
to take with them, and they show the pictures, and I'm like, you can pick literally any picture,
which is actually awesome that they let you do that.
Well, and I've seen videos where it's like players will pick like a random picture of Cindy in her scantily clad
mechanics like showing her breasts, and it's like, here you go, sweetheart.
Love.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh man, it's like you said though. There's games for everybody, and we still have fun with it regardless.
Yeah, 100%, man. It's so funny. Like I just like you. They're easy to tease, and but they are still special games. Like when you play, there's no game that exists that feels like Final Fantasy 15, right? That is like a wholly unique game. That's the thing that I think 16 does kind of poorly, is that it's chasing trends, but it becomes something that becomes something that isn't Final Fantasy to me. There's these other things where it's like Final Fantasy 15. There's no game that feels like 15. There's no game that feels like Rebirth. This is its own thing, and Remake. These are, iconic Square Enix properties. But when I play 16, it just feels like, yeah, I've played this game 100 times and some other places. It just has like a coat of paint on it that's Final Fantasy. But either way, but maybe that's what people wanted, but either way, just kind of, it's a fun ride no matter what. I think it's cool, man. You share a lot of opinions with Jolie and I. Ernest, Jolie mocks Ernest in this most recent deep dive, which is hilarious because Ernest goes off, Chapter 11 is notorious for being that kind of frustrating chapter with Kate Sith box throwing in the Shinra Manor.
Oh God.
Yeah, we talk a lot about it. Please be excited. And Ernest is like, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. But then he's like, so overall, I think it was a great chapter. And we're like, wait, you just said you don't like this, like 1 minus 1 minus 1 minus 1 minus 1 equals 15. We're like, no, you just said a bunch of bad things. But I think Ernest is just trying to stay positive and just be like, I like it, But oh man, it makes me laugh. But look forward to the deep dive.
I really look forward to listening then, man. I look forward to it.
Yeah, you're in if you like, we have deep dive progress on the Discord. So if you ever want to check, Jolie's been updating it. It's the very top channel and main announcements. You can check and see how far along we are. But
absolutely.
Brian, so nice meeting you, dude. So nice talking, and thanks for joining the Patreon. Like that was, I know it's like people like we really aren't trying to like nickel and dime people. It's $1 if you guys want to hang out with us, but it does support.
Nah, it's all cool.
Yeah, man. It's been
It's
fun
all
having
cool.
you.
Glad to be a part of things.
Yeah.
And I guess I'll see you on the Friday stream.
Okay, man. We'll see you Friday. Thanks for calling in, man. All right. I think everybody's out of the waiting room. We've got. Okay. So everyone in the waiting room that wants group chat. Okay, cool. So we're going to go to group chat now. If you guys want to join group chat, we are going to be. I'll join the waiting room and then we can chat. We made it, guys. Hello.
You know,
We're
defy
live.
fate. Hey, we're live.
Whoa.
Yeah, what's
Hey.
up, guys? Oh, it sounds like
What
Dustin
is
was in the
up?
middle of defying fate. Tell us what you were thinking.
Defying.
Jump scare.
You know, yeah, you scared me, Spencer. I don't know. No, it was just we were talking about kind of expectations and things that we're seeing in Revelation.
Yeah.
And you know, I not to take too much of the floor, but
No, take
I
the
think
floor,
that they're
dude.
showing. No, I think they're showing us a lot of really cool stuff. I
Uh-huh.
think they show I think they're showing a lot of safe stuff with the trailers, and I would expect them to. I think they're going to play those cards close to their chest simply because this is the culmination of this Re Trilogy they've worked towards. You know, they're showing for a game called Revelation. They are playing it very similar to things that we already know.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that. And I personally think they're going to blow the whole game wide open in Revelation, be drastically different. I don't think it's going to be something where, Cloud finds himself in a certain different way, or, it's going to be, I think it's going to be drastic.
Because that's the revelation that everybody already knows,
drastic.
right? Isn't that like
yeah, it's not a revelation.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense to me. And so
I think you're right.
I think they are walking that line where, people that are nostalgic towards Mediel or nostalgic towards the weapons,
Yeah,
like, you know what? We'll give these to you because they're safe.
Yeah.
And because and you're expecting these, sure, we'll put these on. And they're great set pieces. And they look great for for people that are seeing the footage for the first time. But they are not even coming close with anything that they are putting out there, what is really going on in this game. That is my absolute that I will die on that hill. I just don't see it. I don't
Not with the trailers yet. But
because
I think they're gonna. What I think they'll do is, when it comes probably time for the Game Awards, when it gets closer to the reveal, I think that they're really going to. I think they're going to have a hook. I don't think it's going to be a big thing, but I think it's going to be a hook. And who knows what that could be. I was talking to Alyssa earlier about it, and it was like you have one snippet of one scene, and and it's Zach, and he's walking up to Cloud, and he's like, "Hey, I told you I'd see you again," or something like that. And it was like, and then you see them meeting, you're like, "What?" And like, then it's gonna freak everyone out. I do think you'll see something like that. Maybe not that specifically, but I think it's going to be something that makes everybody start talking about it and just kind of derails the tripe for the hype for the game.
Yeah, for marketing purposes, that would be perfect because they're continuing, if they do that type of thing, to walk the line of we're sticking to the OG, we're not sticking to the OG. Mm-hmm. And that type of scene definitely does that.
Yeah. And there's precedent, right? I mean, Cloud's already fought with Zach, and depending on how you view the trilogy, that was in Zach's head, or that was in Cloud's head, or that was just some weird thing that was happening. He wasn't actually there at the party, and it was just, it's kind of a hallucination because he's crazy. Sure, okay. I mean, you can think that, but I don't think that the game. I don't think the game is sticking to the same tropes that the original had, where Cloud was losing his mind. I think there's more I think there's more going on at that, because again, that's retreaded ground that we already know. I don't see it.
That's the, like I was saying earlier, that's the revelation that everybody already knows, right? So I mean, I haven't played the OG, but I kind of know that like it was like Cloud isn't really who he thinks he is, or he is. He was there, but he wasn't him. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into OG spoilers like a ton, but to me, I think I like what you're saying, and I do feel like that they are going to try something different, because then why do the whispers? Why do this whole? Why make us guess what's happening to Aerith, right? It all adds up to they are trying to do something different, because if it was just OG stuff, but then they, it's like you get to hit the same beats, you get to go to Mediel, you get to go, maybe we'll go to Rocket Town, right? We're getting the High Wind, all the stuff that you did in the original. It's like, then why spend so much time and effort kind of ruining your ending of Rebirth. You guys know how I feel or whatever. It's like, or not ruining it, but like taking away that scene, the Aerith scene from us. And why do the whisper fight at the end of Remake? Why do all this stuff if you're just gonna do like a little bit more spicy remake? Because if you're trying to keep people guessing till the end, the OG people already know Cloud's kind of off his rocker, right? And he's gotta go,
100%.
he's got to go through stuff to get back on. So that's not really a surprise for me as a newcomer. I guess the ending of Rebirth could work for a newcomer because it's like, why is Cloud so weird about it? And then all the OG fans are like, duh, duh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not going to be a revelation to you guys, maybe for us,
Right.
but that, I don't think that's what they're building towards. I think they've been building towards something bigger.
And I think they're just careful. I think they're just careful with how they are, very careful about how they are portraying stuff, you know, and I think the other big news article I've seen today is, you know, talking about like, you know, well, obviously, as you just mentioned, Aerith's death, right? And they're like, you know, the press release shows like the party is grieving the loss of a close ally or whatever else.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, yes, they were in Rebirth at the end of Rebirth.
We saw them doing
like
it.
you see the entire party. That's literally the end of the game.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I mean, they're very careful. I mean, they're careful to not say that she's dead, because I think it is more complex than that. It's like, yes, in this world, obviously where they're grieving her, she appears to have died. And, you know, but then there's other times where, you know, you see her alive looking at Cloud, and it goes back to, well, is it in his head? Is it's not? You know, and so when they have this press release and saying they're grieving an ally, like that is factually true. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the state in which the reality exists is the same, you know, and I think that they just are very careful with walking the line like that.
Yeah, the press release has been like everything that we've seen in trailers. So we played Rebirth, so we know that they're grieving an ally, and then they're like, and now they're taking on these weapons that they're fighting. And I'm like, that's literally all they've shown us. So all the mystery and all the stuff that like we think might happen, they're like you said, they're holding close to their chest or whatever, right? They're not playing their cards, which is
Right.
would be the whole point of Revelation, is to surprise us, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and it's interesting, you brought up too, just real quick, and then I'm going to shut up, that Tifa, she has her strike as her Black Mage that you're showing when she's fighting, what was it, the Jabberwock or whatever else? So that is the Trinity strike, I believe. That is a strike that she already has in Rebirth.
Okay. Is that the same animation?
So it is not new. It's the same symbol. And I think that the strike looks like it might be a little bit different, because I feel like on the third, she hits the ground in Rebirth and then launches forward. But she does float in the air for a while. So what we're seeing there is not actually a new ability that she has for Revelation. That is an existing ability that they're repurposing.
But the orbs floating around her, the way that she's animated, she's like flying, you know, in the sky. It feels like, is that how she looks when she fights in aerial combat? I don't do Tifa enough.
The first two strikes on that, she is in the air.
Right. But I'm saying, does that aerial combat look the same as her aerial combat in a different outfit, like not in Fits? Right. I'd have to go back and look.
The actual animation may be different, but the symbolism, like where you have like the button presses, like the QTE thing that they're doing, that's the same. So I would imagine that it's the same, and that's the only time they use that symbol for her skill set. I enjoy playing as Tifa, so I recognize that. But
you can trust Dustin, guys. He's like he's got the platinums. He knows what he's doing.
Oh no, I'm close to the platinum. Rebirth is kicking my tail right now for the platinum. So
no,
I put the Trinity strike animation in the chat.
Yeah, I'm actually watching it right now. Should I put it? Let me pull it up here. This isn't the same angle, but
I knew that was coming, Alyssa. I was waiting for Dustin.
she's giving you a hard time. No buffs, Trinity strike. So she's doing. You're right. She is doing. You know what? It looks the same. Okay, so if we analyze she does that flip. Let me do it in slow motion here.
So I don't know if she lands on the ground in Revelation, but it is the same strike. I mean, I think maybe it's a little bit different stylized just to give her a new animation, but it is the same. This isn't
the same angle, right? But she's doing here.
She's up.
She's in the air. Right,
she's launched. She hit it again. She stays in the air,
and then she does this flip move like she did in before. Right, that's the same.
She stays in the air,
and then it's got that, and then she shoots back, and then instead of she's on the ground here, and then that's kind of her like right where she did this in the air in her outfit, and then she goes back, and then it's the last strike.
Then it's a rush, yeah.
Oh, Dustin.
So my point being, they're not showing us anything new with that yet.
Gotcha.
That I've seen. Sense. I mean, maybe in the original trailer there was something new there, but that strike is seemingly not different from her for her Black Mage stuff.
Yeah, I'm watching it. You're totally right. This is her. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I heard Biggles talking in chat about how it was like, was anyone bummed after they released the trailer about how, like, did it seem like Tifa was just kind of doing the same thing even though she was in like her Black Mage fits or whatever. But I'm glad you brought this to our attention because that is very similar. That is like her doing it just in air while she did it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it is a Black Mage.
What's up?
Oh no, I talked to Alyssa earlier, but I thought how the Tifa's animation for the trailer looked like it wasn't a Black Mage but a summoner.
Oh yeah, like she looks a little different. It's just like I don't know. That's what I have so many questions about the fit system, right? I was like, oh, she seems different. Like, she's
I'm really worried about it. I'm worried it's not going to be very good. The fit system. I'm pretty concerned about it.
The one is going to be a summoner. We already saw there was a little glimpse of Kate. Kate's the summoner.
Yeah, he has the horn.
Like a little horn on his head or something.
Yeah, I think, but I don't know. Like, I mean, she's verified as the Black Mage, right? So, watching her do this. So was Trinity Strike a ability that she had, or was like
it was something you learned off a weapon.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't remember if you could do it in the air though.
Yeah, but it is.
I don't know if you can launch it from the air. I don't know if you could do it. I don't know if it was like dive kick or something where you could initiate it from the air. But no. So I do. To Alex, I would bet if there's one thing that is firing on all cylinders with this game trilogy, it's the combat. I would imagine that when they put these fits in, it is going to be well tuned. It may not be your jam. That might be something like just dealing with the outfits and the skill sets.
At this point, I think I care more about the story at this point than I do about the. I mean, combat you can forgive. I think honestly.
I think the combat's going to be incredible. It's already. I have no qualms with it. It's going to be great. Like, it's going to be a good time. The fits, they made a big point to talk about the fits, right? So it makes me wonder, like, what is different about that? So I was thinking, but yeah, you're totally right. This is Tifa doing her, she's in the air this time, but this is her doing it's got the same animation Trinity Strikes, right? She does her side kick and then she does a flip, but she's in the air and there are orbs around her. I didn't see those last time. Yeah, but that's the same thing. She was on the ground though, but she's in the air doing it, right?
Yeah, so that's her landing. That's her landing on the ground, she looks like she does it from the air.
Right.
Yeah. So it's the same strike, but they have given it an airborne.
Maybe they're just saying you can fight in the air. Tifa better.
Yeah. Well, that would be cool if the Black Mage fits give you the ability to fly, because then that's helped Red as well, because Red was very grounded.
He's
and
very
kind of hard.
grounded.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. And that
would be cool actually if they changed her kit. Where she'd give her levitation, so her standard
float,
kit
right?
now has far more mobility. Which Tifa kills for mobility, so that would be awesome.
Well, that's why I don't play her, because I'm like I get frustrated because I'm like I just want to be able to attack this person in the air, right? And then they made Cloud when you dodge, and then you could do his blade.
Yeah, sword beam.
Yeah, that he's fighting. And then he can warp to them, and then he does all that can be done with one character. I know that you can get fancy and do the synergy skills.
Typhon.
Yep, Final Fantasy VI.
Is that where he's from, Typhon? He looks so funny to me, man. I look at this guy and I'm like, what a character, dude.
So he's like the boss that you sometimes see with Ultros, which is sort of this comic villain from Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah. Because it was funny. People were like, "He's here, Typhon." I'm like, that guy looks silly to get excited about.
Yeah. I do love how terrified Barrett looks falling.
Yeah, Zavari Stone in chat says it reminds me of Slimer. He does look like Slimer.
Yeah, legit.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
He was in the OG as I think it was like Typhoon. It wasn't even spelled correctly.
Typhoon,
Something like
okay.
that.
Yeah,
For a second there, it looked like Vincent was leading the group on the Chocobos. Like, are they going to let you lead the party with not Cloud?
Oh,
I've wondered that. I've wondered that if
I hope so.
it's funny. I saw the same thing, and what I remember looking like, who's the third? You don't see who's riding the third chocobo in that scene,
Let
and
me
I was
find
like,
it,
I
yeah.
look back at that, I was like, I wonder if that's not Cloud, and you just can put anyone.
You're not gonna
right. Or Cloud's not around. Yeah, I know that.
Sure. Yeah.
But
If you choose who is the leader.
Following Vincent.
Yeah, I mean, that could very well be just part of, I mean, it could be part of the mechanics. It could just open it up for you can, obviously you can set leaders for like, battle. Why not just set a leader for, just exploring the world? Like it's an easy thing to do,
You've got Vincent and Sid, but it doesn't show it doesn't give us the glimpse of the other one.
What about the shadow? Do you see like a big old sword in the shadow?
I'm trying to see right here. And oh, that's like, what is that?
That's not a
like
Barrett shadow. We know it's not Barrett. It's too slender for Barrett.
Is that a Mickey Mouse glove like Kate Sith or something? Oh, I think that is. Oh, dude, that is Kate Sith.
Is it?
Yeah, dude.
Go back.
Yeah.
Go back.
The last
you might
frame.
be right.
I know
the
last
go frame
one.
by frame.
I will. Well,
pause it and then hit the period.
Yeah, dude. That is totally Kate Sith. He's got his boots. Look at him. That's Kate. We figured it out, guys.
Yeah.
There he is.
Good work.
Kate.
Good work. It is.
Yeah, that is Kate.
So that answer. That answer is.
That's
yeah. So you do not need. You can have other people leading the party.
But I don't know if that's not technically true because there are gameplay sections where you can run around as different party leads, right? With that in Rebirth.
For sure.
So this could be like a Vincent section where you're hanging out in Medeal or whatever.
It does look like open world though, which you traditionally would have more controlled segments when you would do that. Not to say you couldn't.
Because you do that with the girls though, right? You ride off with Yuffie, Tifa. Tifa's the party lead,
the
right?
reactor.
And Gungaga. So it could be similar to that.
Oh yeah, it could be. It could be.
Story,
right.
But what's happening here? Is this just open world? Is this a story thing? Why is Vincent?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. See, I don't know what all.
And then it's this Yuffie, obviously, in Wutai. You Yuffie leading. I just feel like it probably is not a huge. I could just see them opening up party leader to whoever you want at a certain.
That would be
point,
cool. I mean, I would be totally down
with
for
Cloud.
that.
If Cloud is indisposed for some reason that we may or may not know, you can have anybody lead. If you want, they might open that up. Or
we'll
see.
me because they talk about this is from Hamaguchi when he was actually speaking. I'm going to turn on the volume. So, let me find this part when he's talking because I know it's hard. But he talks about it being truly like open world, right? So let me just hear what he says. Oh, we can't have it slow like this. It's going to be awful. Okay. I know.
Look at that walk, slow motion. There's like an explosion about to happen behind him.
I'm turning up loud because I want to see what he says. Hello, everyone. Good for him.
Just
doing
like
English.
Just saying.
He says revolution, and it's so cute.
Got it muted on stream, I think.
Let's see. Oh, the stream isn't playing the music. That's right.
Yeah, it's all right. I've got it muted anyway.
I'll fix it. Hang on one sec.
Gamescom to give you a green pass or my team is working on. What will you see in this brand new exclusive trailer? So-called weapons.
He's talking about weapons.
Massive creature, the Cloud, and his team of legendary heroes will face in the final chapter of their epic.
I think he said that during the last
Final
event
Fantasy
they had.
Revolution.
Yeah, they have said it's seamless. It has to be for highway travel.
Without boundaries.
Okay, so he says right here. He says Final Fantasy Revelation will be right here.
Experience in a world without.
Yeah, and like unforgettable experience in a world without boundaries. So I don't like that's very marketing speak, but it also could be like you're going to be able to go wherever in this, it's a world without boundaries. You have the high wind, you can just parachute down. They talk about this in interviews, right, where they kind of want it to feel that way. But I don't know. I mean, I think that would
All I'm
rule.
saying, what I think would rule is you now have the high wind in Revelation, and I've talked to a couple of people about this. If you do not fly that thing through one of those tears, that is a missed opportunity in the sky. That would be so epic. Like if you could fly it in to one of these tears, would be
like the
awesome.
Zack world or whatever that's got the big tear.
Maybe
that
to another
everyone's looking
world.
at.
Maybe who knows? But I guarantee you that I can't imagine you putting a big rip in the sky and having something that flies around the sky and not putting 2 and 2 together.
That's cool, but I don't know if we'll do that.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
That's an amazing point.
Yeah.
Seriously. If you have a flying machine, why wouldn't you fly?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's all sorts of rabbit hole stuff we've kind of talked about, which is all speculation. But I mean, it would be cool. At the very least, it would be an interesting thing to see. But I just see stuff like that. It's like there's so much they can do with this world for the things that they've opened up. It would almost do what they've built a disservice to keep it very close to the OG.
And that would make
so much cool stuff.
That would make it feel very different than Rebirth, right? Because like Rebirth is open zone, it's not truly open world, right? Whereas like you can go to Corel and you can go to Gongaga, but then you have to go call in Sid, and then he has a cutscene that takes you to Cosmo Canyon, right? And then they take you back and forth, and you can kind of go around areas like that. But it's like, let us just have free reign over the whole map, which would be cool.
I think the one thing we're all worried about is Ubisoft towers.
Right. I mean, that's for sure. That's what happened in Rebirth, right?
What's Chadley?
Cloud, the weapons have broken all of our towers. You have to do them all again.
Yeah.
Won't that be fun?
Tears of Kingdom made you do that again in Zelda.
What does Chadley for us? That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm wondering about.
Yeah, I know, dude. Like, who knows, man? It's so funny because I think they have enough that differentiates, Revelation from Rebirth, but that's kind of what I'm most excited to see. I'm along for the story, like whatever comes, let's go, Let's see what they've got whatever they're cooking up for us. But I do want to know, like I was telling Graphs on stream. Yeah, it's like what is it going to be like to traverse this world? What's it going to be like is it going to feel like linear chapters like the first 2 games were? I kind of feel like it will have chapters, but I don't know. Like, can we go to get the high wind, and can we fly over Midgar? Can we go to the whatever these new areas that I don't even know about? Can we go back to Costa del Sol whenever we want? Or is it going to be more guided, like, here are the next story beats? Or is there going to be like just a marker on the map?
I mean,
if you want to continue the story, go to this marker.
It is interesting, kind of going back to the whole no boundaries thing. It would be really weird if things were just locked off all over the place. It would be very strange kind of design choice. I think it would be fun to go back into one thing that I always thought was really cool with the OG, and I'll keep this very vague, is when you do go back to Midgar, and when you go back to Midgar, you see different areas that you hadn't been in before. And I think it would be really fun in Revelation to go back to Midgar and not, kind of in the spirit of open world. Maybe you don't see every sector or whatever else, but going back and exploring. Because I always think back to Chapter 4 in Remake, how cool it was to see the upper plate of 7.
Yes, that was awesome.
Where you're in Jesse's home, and they build this awesome world that you haven't seen in Final Fantasy, and I love that. And it was interesting that was something new for Remake, and it was one of the best parts of the game.
Right.
And I would love to see them do more with stuff like that. And just kind of give themselves the freedom to really explore some of that stuff with an open world, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's so funny, man. I'd be very pleased if it was more open world, kind of like go here, do this. You get the high wind early, maybe some linear structure, but to differentiate it from Rebirth, where it's like you're gonna go from zone to zone to zone to zone in a linear fashion. Where it's like, okay, go explore, but if you want to advance the story, then you have to fly over this part of whatever, Medial Archipelago or whatever, that sort of stuff. But and then with the fit system, there's Orion in chat is saying, my guess is Chadley will give the party the fits, and Alyssa agrees. I just think like, okay, give Chadley a reason to like spec him out with new clothing that changes their stuff, But it's still
it would be weird to go to like a store.
Yes,
like you did in like Rebirth, to be like, hey, let's buy this Black Mage outfit.
They're just gonna have
I mean, it would be
everywhere.
strange.
By every bench.
Yeah, it does feel like a Chadley thing. I agree. I agree with Orion on that. That does sound like something he will implement.
I just don't. It's so funny because I'm so glad that you called me on it. But you're right. The Trinity Strike is just a move that Tifa has already had, and so because I was like, this is new animation, but it's not. So just makes me wonder. The fits are still just so mysterious to me. Yeah.
It's safe, man. I mean, it's enough to entice you, and I think that what we've seen. This is my speculation. What I think we've seen is going to be what they layer on before they do any major story drops. So you'll get sort of these weapons videos, where you have Rufus with new dialogue talking about the weapons, which is not anything that we haven't seen, from the first trailer.
Right.
Although points missed for not having Tifa suplex one of the weapons. I'm sorry, they could have done that.
That would be
have been amazing. We missed that.
She does does like a Thanos style, like when Thanos pulls out the like power
it'd be
stone.
just so
she just
ridiculous.
She grabs one of the huge materia and like shoves it in her gauntlet, and then she suplexes.
I would be here for it all day long. I'd be here for it. It'd be hilarious. But I think that they're going to take all the stuff we already know for most of it, and they're just going to say, okay, we've shown you the fits. This is how it works. Okay, we've shown you Medial, and we've shown you.
I hope they do this.
We've shown you the world is changed because of the weapons and the live stream and everything that's happened. We're going to show you how it's changed.
Right.
And we've told you about the high wind. We're going to show you more about how the high wind works. And so what they're going to do, I suspect, is that they're going to take that first big push that they gave us, and they're going to flesh out everything that they've already shown us from the Summer Games Fest.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be their MO all the way up until maybe the Game Awards, when they drop potentially some major story revelation. No pun intended.
Right.
At the Game Awards, and then maybe as they get closer to like the demo day. I think that's their plan.
Perfectly smart. They'll show other jobs for other characters.
You cut out, Mike.
Lost you, Mike.
They'll just show. They'll show other jobs for other characters. They'll be like, "Oh, look," and then again, I don't know, but just throwing this out there, be like, "Oh, Red Mage."
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like his little outfit. They'll do things like that, and they'll just be like, really, you guys need to be you need to be hyped on this job system, even though we don't know how many jobs any characters get, who gets what. We don't know.
I think they're gonna go full like transmog system, kind of like Rebirth does this, right? When you beat the game, you can wear Tifa's bikini or whatever, or in like Cloud, can wear his shirtless stuff. I bet there's going to be the fit system, and if you like the way you look there, but I bet there's going to be like outfits that you collect throughout the game that you can wear as well. And I bet they haven't shown. I bet they're saving that when it gets to look closer, because people go nuts for like customizing characters, especially characters that you like obsess over, like Tifa and Cloud and Barrett, and like all these people. You're gonna be like, yes, I want to see these costumes, right?
It's like, I was saying that for Rebirth. It's like, why do we not have just costumes for characters to wear?
They had a few, right? But it's like just they are in lore game, like they did the soldier outfits for the parade, and then they did the
right.
Yeah, they did the Coast del Sol outfits.
Why do you get the theater outfit for Red, but you don't get the theater outfit for Cloud or Barrett?
That's true. All that stuff would be great. People mod them in, right? And it's just fun to see all the Loveless stuff.
I would love the fourth unknown.
Nobody cares.
What was they haven't shown the fourth job, have they? I don't think so.
No,
Warrior,
we
Black
just,
Mage,
we just
Summoner, right?
speculate Summoner for. Do they even say Summoner, or do we just see that on Kate Sith?
Well, I mean, I think we can probably. I don't know if they've said Summoner. I mean,
Just assuming on that one.
Summoner.
Yeah,
it just looks
Yeah.
like one.
Either white.
I
mage
would
or
love to see
summoner.
like some off the wall job for the fourth one, like Magitech Knight or something from like Final Fantasy VI. That would be the best.
Okay, but
It
what do we
won't
think?
happen,
What
but
do
it
we
would be
think
fun.
Barrett's wearing right here? I have it pulled up. This is his fits system. Is he just a?
He looks like a
warrior here?
paladin to me. He
This
just
doesn't
that's
seem like-
so much armor.
Yeah, I know. It's some type
He
of.
just looks like a paladin. That's like my character in Final Fantasy
that his
XIV all the time.
warrior
Just
fit,
a-
But see, but people say warrior though, because like Cloud's warrior outfit is
Maybe.
like not like
that's a
this.
paladin right there. Where's the
It's a
paladin?
lot of armor, but Barrett is a lot of everything.
And then
so,
this is
I mean,
Kate
it makes
Sith
sense.
as his summoner, but it's similar to like the Black Mage, but this is a little bit different, right?
That's a
got a
summary.
cape.
One.
It does look like a summoner,
Okay, so we
but
got
I don't know.
Freelancer, which is his normal thing, but then when he switches to Warrior, this is Cloud's Warrior outfit. He needs some pauldrons on, dude. He just looks too small up top there, Cloud.
I mean, it does. There are similarities. He's definitely thinner,
Black
but
Mage.
it makes sense. I mean, if they're going with the aesthetic of the character, I mean, Barrett would be
Yeah.
a lot more armored. So I mean, it's possible that both are warrior.
I'm so excited about this though, man. Like this is like we've got Materia loadouts, we've got the little fit system right on top of it, you know.
Cloud, they could have done better, but I feel like maybe it's like Cloud's only going to wear the things he likes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's okay. I mean, he
I
looks
think-
cool
I
here.
think we're gonna
he
have-
looks cool, but
We're gonna have Yuffie dressed up as Magi from Sector 5 in the Moogle costume,
yeah.
and
Oh,
they're
yeah.
gonna do like the Moogle job set from Final Fantasy VI.
Right.
Oh, she's already dressed up as a Moogle in Intergrade. Why not?
That's true. That's true.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I know.
Experience.
See, this
We're
is
gonna get,
like go ahead.
We're gonna get a Kiri for it.
Here.
Oh my
everyone-
goodness.
Everyone's gonna get.
Could
you
everyone's gonna get
imagine?
there.
Could you imagine Yuffie pulling like a Johnny situation with Kyrie? How crazy would that make Jolie?
You'd lose it, guys.
Oh,
Lose it.
it would be
I love
so
that you
good.
guys
It
just
would be
troll
so
her,
good.
but it's like Jolie's like, I literally hate this character, but you know,
I'm not.
You know,
I'm
you
not
guys know what
trolling
you're doing.
anyone, Spencer. I'm not
You're
trolling
100%.
a soul.
Yeah, I know.
I
get
do
it.
not troll. I'm too kind for that.
Oh man, it's like
I'm the
with
one
us-
who can say that I don't troll.
the funny thing
I
about
literally
that
am
is
the one who does not do it.
I know. The funny thing about this is though, it's like it is Kyrie is emblematic of like the JRPG camp that
It
I
is.
kind of like. You know, I know it sounds dumb. I don't think Kyrie is a good character, but I like that we go on silly adventures and we meet obnoxious characters along the way because that's like the difference between 16 and you know, Rebirth or whatever. 16, everyone's dark and serious, and it's like, you know, you've got a few people like Gav that lighten, you know, the tone a little bit, but it just doesn't feel like that silly adventure. Like,
Spencer, can I
Uncle
say
Barrett, wasn't it?
Can I say this? The point you're making is perfect because that's the spirit of D&D is
yeah,
the players want to meet characters that they want to hate. They want to meet characters that are going to be quirky, little guesses. They want to they want to butt heads with. That they don't want just like I am a wooden NPC who gives quests. They want curious. Kyrie is that idea.
Yeah,
that's what she is. She's your quest giver, but like nobody just wants like my name is Pam. I am quest giver.
Right. Yeah, because then it just feels like MMO person give quest. Yeah.
People hate on Kyrie, and you should. She sucks. However, she's a quest giver.
Yeah.
That's
Hey, you're
the
gonna
point.
change your tune when she's the one that pulls Cloud out of the live stream.
That's the revelation.
That's
They've
right,
changed it all.
baby.
They've been setting it up for her this whole time. Yeah, no. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. You can have the campy, cheesy, anime, tropey characters. That's fine. That's something that makes you you, right? But then don't be doing that, you know. Don't be doing that.
Oh, come on, you gotta love to hate these characters,
Yeah.
you know.
This one's for Alyssa in chat. She's being, you know, not calling in, but she thinks this little yellow mark in the middle of the materia is the cut that
The
Sephiroth
scar.
put in. I don't think that's true. I'm gonna just say it right now. I think that's baloney. I think this is like the materia chest, and it's like a cool little like light from the middle. But I could be wrong.
I mean, you do see in the other materia that when they have in the actual bay of it appears to be the
Clipping this.
high wind maybe, or maybe somewhere in Midgar. It does have a glowing center. And like it does glow in the center similarly, but I can't tell. It does look more like a line.
But the sapphire, but this does have like bluish pink. Like if you look at it, it does kind of look like that. It does look like I could see, you know, like this is the whale that has, you know, gone full. It's fully evolved.
Full evolution.
It looks like sand.
Yeah. Clipping this.
That
Biggles is making sure he finds it every time I mention something that was wrong. Yeah,
it's interesting. It is interesting. I think there is something. I think there is. It's an interesting theory, but I'm not for sure if that is fully what that is.
Is
but I like the idea. I like the continuity.
I know.
Oh, I think it was Biggles. I think it was Biggles.
See, Alyssa was saying it, but so it was Biggles who was saying it. Okay, cool. Biggles, yes, clip it. But add me to your database.
It's fun though. It's fun to find those little correlations because I think the game and Remake and Rebirth have sort of trained us to do that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, and you've seen this yourself firsthand, Spencer, where you're going back through Remake.
Yep.
And you're catching so many little things that you did not catch the first time. And you know, the devs, they really pride themselves on putting things in there that you will miss if you're not looking for them.
Yeah.
And so you know, this community obviously has a ton of people in it that love these games, and some of the stuff they come up with is it's fascinating. You know, not everything will pan out, I'm sure, but like there is some really cool thought-provoking stuff that people are coming up with.
Yeah. So here's a clip from the Summer Game Fest trailers, right? When we see the parachutes like landing, and this seems like a very ideal spot to land. My question is, it's like, could you just land in the trees, or is it going to be one of those invisible walls things where you're like trying to land down in certain spots, but then it's like won't let you land, right? But it looks like it's just seamless. You just go.
This just looks like, you know, a hard Tifa drops the parachute and goes and picks up a Mai Tai.
But but the question is, could she land on like the top of, you know, those mountainous structures?
No, I'm pretty sure they could have landing spots for us.
Yeah, go to the other trailer real quick.
I know that there's landing spots. Are you talking about that like red octagon or something with the lights?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what I would love, like if you land here, you get a reward or something.
Yeah.
What I would love is to see, like, with the freedom that comes with this, like, if it gets to be jank at times, where it's sort of like how Witcher 3 would have, like, Roach on your house, like, on the roof, or, like, all of this random places. I mean, it wouldn't be great from a development standpoint, but it would make me laugh.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah, they're going to have to push you, like, when you're starting to land, away from any obstacles. To land in the flat space, the nearest space, they're gonna have to do.
Yeah, what Graphs is saying though, like, look, if you look at this trailer, there's like a landing pad, but maybe you get something for landing on that. Obviously, the game is telling you, land on me, land on me, land on me. There's no reason why it would look like that to not land on you. But then if you look down here, this is like a chocobo stop. It looks like this looks like where a bench would be or something. You know, maybe not a chocobo stop, but it looks like you could go down to that. So if you
did someone say,
or here,
I will take credit for this. I think someone else said this, but aren't those the points where you go back to the high wind?
These ones. Oh, I remember Jolie saying that.
Yeah, man,
that's not me.
No, but I don't know if Jolie was saying, but yeah, she was like she's like, how do you get back to the high wind? That's a good point. Something in the earlier trailers like alluded to that too.
Yeah.
Also, this is hilarious. Everyone just look at Red in the top left corner. Doesn't he look like he's just falling? Like The parachute didn't work. I know.
Looks like he's having the time of his life.
Yeah, just loving it, dude. I don't know.
I was assuming that was gonna be like the buggy where you just call it and it comes by.
Have you watched this?
Oh, that would be so cool. You call the buggy, you call the highwind, and it just swoops down. And
That's what I'm
drops a
guessing.
ladder
I don't
on
know.
you.
That'd be cool.
Oh,
Yeah, man.
It
I mean,
drops
there's
like the Mako from Mass Effect. Highwind.
the Mako. Are you talking
Yeah,
about like the scanning game from Mass Effect?
No,
They
the
mean
Mass
the
Effect.
tank.
You drive the tank, and they drop it
Oh,
from the Normandy.
gotcha. Yes, thank you. I'm
It
just
was
thinking.
called
Is
the
it?
Mako.
It was called the Mako.
If we start scanning for plutonium to
Fantasy
fuel
VII
the
brain.
Highwind, that would be amazing.
The Mako, dude. That thing is so fun and terrible.
Oh,
to drive.
the
That's
scanner.
hilarious.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I don't know. There's just too much. I think that they have enough to just like not reveal story teases. I do worry that they will. I would think that they'll tease a little bit too much because they usually go hard on the spoiler trailer that DK was talking about.
About the spoilers, what was DK going on about them spoiling too much or something?
That's what he's talking
for
about.
Rebirth?
He's like Rebirth. They had a trailer, like the launch trailer right before. It's like if you go back and watch it now, it's like it basically spoils a bunch of stuff that happened in Rebirth. I just wonder.
Rebirth was interesting though because people knew what that game was. People coming into Rebirth, people knew like, okay, yeah, yes, OG people. So like people would come in and be like, oh yeah, we know where this is ending. We know what's coming. People that were in the OG, they knew exactly what they were looking for. And so I don't feel like it's going to be quite the same with Revelation. I think what they are already doing as far as spoilers is what they're doing right now that we're seeing on screen is although the Shinra Troopers at Wutai is interesting, but like seeing the weapons and going to Wutai and going to the underwater reactor, all of those things are OG beats, right?
Yeah.
And so they've shown us those because that's what they're quote unquote spoiling. But they're not going to show anything that's wildly different. I mean, they know this is the last game. They know they're wrapping everything up. I think it's going to be ultra spoiler heavy, and they're going to stick away from that until they're ready to drop those talking points.
Well, I love if you guys watched the pre-show, right? The Kyle Bossman was talking to him. Oh, go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
Said I have to completely agree with him just because we never had any idea when Rebirth released. We didn't know that the characters like Aerith and Red, like they were going to start forgetting their memory of the future or some other timeline. We didn't know anything about that. The spoilers of Rebirth did not hint to that whatsoever. We didn't know what was going to happen. We did not know what was going to happen. We knew
we knew all the safe stuff. We knew all the stuff that already took place. We knew Roosevelt saying they showed the entirety of the Aerith date. I mean, we saw the Aerith date, in the OG.
Me personally, I'm not worried about Revelations spoilers with the final trailer. I'm really not.
Yeah, but also you don't have to watch them either.
You can do anything.
That's totally true. You don't have to watch them. I will watch them, but
I will be gone the second that review copies start going out, or I get any whiff.
Oh, you're out. You're out until you play the game.
I'm like going full prepper mode off the grid.
That's like because this is something that like you want to experience for yourself, right?
I do. I mean, I honestly like Final Fantasy VII is my favorite game of all time. The OG, and I mean, and I know a lot of people are heated about it. I love the Re Trilogy. I'm really enjoying it. It's got its flaws 100%, but it's like it's creating this really cool synergy for me where I'm getting the old and I'm getting something that I really want, which is new. And so it's been really exciting to watch. And like the last thing I want is for some major plot event to be spoiled that I don't see coming.
Yeah, for sure. I feel the same, and I'm honestly kind of surprised that you and Jolie on your last stream were like, hey, drop what you guys think is going to happen, because like people could, I don't know if you know how in the know a lot of people are about like the story and what's going on, Like, if we point certain things out, it's actually going to be spoilers for you guys. Just FYI.
Well, okay. Well, do you mean like how much do we know, like what's going on in the mystery, like the meta narrative that they're doing, or are you talking about? Because Jolly knows
Just
the OG.
Revelation.
Are you talking about me not knowing OG spoilers, or are you talking about Jolly not knowing like the meta narrative stuff?
Technically both, but I don't know. You've been exposing yourself to a lot of OG stuff, so I don't know if that's going to be true or not.
I agree with them too.
I know.
Same.
It's hard to have me on stream because it's like, well, we can't really have a conversation because
you know most of the points, Spencer.
Yeah.
You just don't have the connective tissue. I was telling someone about that earlier. Like you don't know how things connect necessarily because you haven't played the OG, but you know all the stuff, man. And it's like, you were talking earlier about being concerned that the weapons were going to be overshadowing everything else in
that's where I
Revelation.
was worried about because I'm like,
and I am not worried about that.
Okay, cool.
I'm not worried about that.
I was talking to, for those who don't know, I was talking to Dustin on Discord, and I was like saying, like, it just feels like this is a big distraction. Like, I don't care about killing these kaiju monsters.
Right. Well, and I've got news for you. You're gonna kill some kaiju monsters in this game.
Sure.
You're not gonna get around that. Like, I mean, that is gonna be part of the game, and then I suspect that is going to be a driving narrative for at least a portion of it. It depends on what they do with it. Apparently they're hiding, Ruby and Emerald still in the same way, where they may be super bosses that are optional. Maybe they're not if they're having all of these big materia that are stuck in them. Maybe they're doing something with the narrative on that front. I don't know, but that is going to be something that continues to happen. But there is going to be so much time that I think that they will be able to still
good because that's what I
attribute
want
to character growth. 100%.
I don't care about. They just seem like a plot MacGuffin, where it's like, let's say we have to get the big materia so we can try and stop Meteor. Like that makes sense narratively, right?
They are plot MacGuffins, straight up.
So,
but that's an OG plot MacGuffin,
right?
Yeah.
But like I get the whole like the planet's in danger, so Godzilla comes to like save it. I get it, right? I get that that's like a Japanese storytelling.
Japanese game.
Sure, and I don't mind fighting Big God at the end. I have issues with. I don't even know why Sephiroth was the way he was at the end of Rebirth. Did they ever explain that? No, he's just this monstrosity.
Well, so that form you see at the end of the OG game.
Right. So it's like
Sephiroth,
a callback. Right, but I'm saying like they're not explaining it to me as a new player. I'm like, I know that's probably a callback, and people are like, okay, that's interesting that it's earlier.
Well, they're obviously not doing Bizarro Sephiroth for the end of Revelation. They've already done that boss. Yeah, so, I mean, that in itself is sort of a tell, like they're going to do something different.
Yeah. Was he the final boss in the original, or is like
he was the final version. Sephiroth is the final boss, but he wasn't the final version. So Bizarro
Sephiroth was the final version, right?
Yes.
Is that
his angelic form?
I've seen that one on. If you get the Smash Ball in Smash Bros, Sephiroth turns into this angelic thing, and then like all time and space is moved, and there's like mathematical equations, and then he like blows up the Earth or blows up God or something.
Yeah, that was the angelic Safer Sephiroth one.
Safer, yeah.
But before he goes into his form of Bizarro.
It's a mistranslation. It was Seraphim.
Seraph, yeah.
Gotcha.
Angelic.
Sephiroth. Seraph.
Interesting, but not safer. Safer. We're gonna go with the safer.
Safer Sephiroth, as the OGs over on the side of the pond know it.
Call him Sephiroth. He was not safer. He can bring all of the planets down upon you.
He blew up the entire solar system. Wild.
Well, let me ask you this. Okay, I pulled up Kyle Bossman's pre-show, and he has these funny like top 10 things that he writes. Usually jokes. Mm-hmm. But did you guys see him talk about Aerith?
I did.
Oh, yeah. So hang on, let me play this for you guys. This is like number 3. He talks about how he's like, wow, do you notice how we haven't seen Aerith in any of them? Maybe we'll see her tonight.
We'll see. Number 3. Final Fantasy VII Revelation. I noticed they haven't shown a single second of Aerith gameplay yet. I think they're probably saving it for tonight.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's because everybody's
But
that's the hot ticket, right?
Right, but that's like
will they, won't they?
It's so like he wrote a joke about it that it's so obviously that they're holding that back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
So it's like, why would you even joke about that? If like there's these people online, it's like there's nothing. She's just gone. They're grieving that, you know.
I mean, I think it says more about their emotional state over what is likely to happen. I think that says more they want her gone.
Sure, but like Red Barrington's in chat right now.
They want exactly. They want her gone.
She's dead.
But she's also like one of the largest figures on the Revelation, marketing material that we have alongside with Zach. So
yeah,
I disagree. I think that she is going to be a huge piece, and I think it's telling that they're not showing her.
Yeah, and I think Zach will be involved.
When do we see her first, though? In part 3, when do you think we see her first?
Yeah, when do you think we see her first? Is what?
In the game?
In Revelation.
Like in a cutscene or yeah.
Oh yeah. I absolutely know. It's gonna be right before Cloud goes. No, this is spoilers. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You can say it. Go for it, dude.
Right before Cloud goes comatose.
Mm-hmm. I know that he is in a wheelchair and Medeal and Tifa's like helping him.
Yeah, no, I think that's the first time I really see her.
Okay, so
I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do that. I'm not going to sit there and predict how that's going to play out. But I think they've built this way too high to have her just flash in and out. There's a whole meta narrative they're building.
Yeah,
and I think that
it's not going to be like
regardless,
that. I was kind of going in and out.
You built it. You're absolutely right. They built this bigger than they can deal with. They can handle properly. It's gonna be horrible. This is a horrible narrative situation they've got going on here.
Well, like unless they go see, but it's horrible unless they lean into the changes. I just feel like, okay, this is what this was my comment on stream
100%.
on Friday, right? Because like, let's say they just want to do the original and it's a little bit spicy and they wanted us to guess whether or not like we could save Aerith. Well, yeah, okay, right. So like, I know I've seen some videos online of people being like, that moment when you're blocking Sephiroth, it's like you're actually doing it. You're actually gonna stop that one scene from happening, but then they give you the rebirth ending, right? You don't actually, and it's like bummer, right? So it's like they go to such great lengths to think like, will they, won't they, will they, won't they, will they, won't they, right? And if it's just gonna be nope, they won't, that's just a huge freaking waste of the entire series. Huge freaking waste.
And they don't end that game. They don't end Rebirth with any idea of you really knowing what's going on.
Right.
Because yes, she is clearly dead.
Yeah.
To the party that is there. They're grieving her, of course.
Yeah.
You see the flashing in and out where she's saved, she's not saved. And you, as a player, are watching this going, what is going on?
Right.
So, and that leads into the press release they have of like, okay, well, the party
her.
is grieving the loss of an ally. Yes, clearly they are, because you see that at the end of Rebirth.
Right.
But to sit there and say, it's the exact same as the OG is you're completely missing half the scene of what's going on. And they're very clearly wanting to give you this sort of unease where I'm not seeing everything that is going on here because Cloud's acting weird. There's this weird tear in the sky. Things are not the same.
You killed Fate in the previous game.
I think to just say, oh no, it's all OG. It's just like it did. It's all the same. None of that matters. Like I don't think that follows.
Yeah.
Like the logic the developers are personally trying to build. That's my opinion.
Instagram likes. And that sucks. It's designed for Instagram likes. It's for what do you think? What do you think happened? What do you think? Let's talk about it. Let's keep talking about it.
Which is true. I do think that's why they did that in Rebirth ending, because they want the narrative hook to pull you through to the last game.
100%.
But at the same time, right? It's like, well, why would they go back to if they just were trying to bait and switch you and then tell you the same story? I think I think people will sour on this series like way harder than Red Barrington is or whatever, way harder than anyone that
because they're disingenuous. They're disingenuous to the plot that they've currently been building.
Yeah,
the entire
So it's
question
like,
is,
oh, we were just
well,
kidding.
can you
We just
defy
did it-
fate?
Yeah, we just did it as like a marketing gimmick, so you would stick around for the first 3 games. Like that's logically where that kind of thinking leads you. So I'm like, I think they're gonna. I'm kind of with you, Dustin, and I'm starting to think this more and more. Is that like the only thing that makes sense is for them to lean into the changes that they've been showing, right? They've been like trying to make us guess, and obviously we've been on the internet long enough to see people going off on whether or not it's like, see, you guys think Cloud's gonna be like, I don't know. They're just like, it's the OG, guys. It's the OG. And then people are like, no, it's not the OG. It's not the OG. And then they're still fighting over it. They're still getting their clicks. They're still getting the arguments online that drives engagement. But if it becomes the OG in the end, it just feels like, what a waste of time. If it was all just
it's especially weird since the game tells you this can't be our future. Tifa says it, like, literally, this can't be our future.
Yeah.
And that is from the perspective of the party, but that's also the developers telling you do not want the future that we see going forward. You want something better, which reflects even what the developers have said, how they want a happier ending, more of a resolution for Cloud.
Yeah.
And so to have the game go all the way through and then to end OG completely derails the entire point of fate, of defying fate. Because then what is the answer? It's like, oh no, it looks like you can't defy fate in the end. Like, that's not going to be a satisfying answer for a lot of people to follow through 3 games.
Yeah, big
and honestly, I think the real question is like, if you're like, what is the fate you're defying? Like, what is the linchpin of the fate that you're seeing in this?
Yeah.
And that's the question. Is it to save the world? They saved the world in the original game. Like, if that were the ending that was good, there would have no need to change it. So
I completely agree, and I want to see Cloud realize that she's dead, that Aerith is dead.
I think he will. I think he will at a certain point. But at least, I mean, that's how hard they go into it, right? Like, I mean, what if everybody is like, Cloud is crazy, and everybody's expecting that because of the OG, but he's been losing it earlier on. But then, like, I feel like there's a big twist they're doing with this scene. That's why it looks so cryptic right now. Is like, what if he's the one that's not crazy and he's seeing more of the picture than anyone else? And we're all conditioned as people that have gone through OG to say, yeah, he's crazy, because I mean, this whole game is about subversion, about subverting
that would be a
expectations.
Revelation if everyone thinks Cloud is crazy and then he's the only sane one.
Like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's just something that I'm just saying it would be interesting. But my point ultimately is, if for a game to be named Revelation, you can't follow the OG.
I know.
There's no revelation at that point, so like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Right,
so I think
like,
something is happening.
What could you reveal that hasn't already been? If you want to go back to the same thing, you're totally right. Yeah, I feel that way. Biggle says the only way out is through. Imagine what kind of ending you would have, where you'd still want to go back and play through Remake and Rebirth again for years from now. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think this project is cool. It's so fascinating. I'm endlessly fascinated by it. And it's fun that we get to have these conversations because no other gaming franchise makes me think about all this stuff, It's just like, well, let's see what they release. How many like bubbles are going to be in the beer in Rockstar's GTA 6, right? Oh, that looks so good, dude, But like
the whispers,
but like, I don't know. I think it's cool. The whispers, the whole idea, like the meta narrative is so unique. And I know some people hate it, but I think it is cool what they're trying to do. But if they try to go back to the original, I think then they're just going to have to do all this stuff that they didn't do in Rebirth, like we were talking about on stream on Friday. I feel like they have to waste all this time being like, we were just trying to hoodwink you, but really Aerith is dead and Cloud has to re-experience all that. And you get the scene that you wanted, and now we're going to go fight these weapons, and now we're going to go get Sephiroth, and Cloud's going to have his live stream sequence. I don't know, like all this stuff that's supposed to happen.
Just ignores, I mean, you could cut out all of the whispers and everything that they've introduced
like,
new and just get the same game. It's like, why even do that? And either you're just like, oh, they don't know what they're doing, and that's your answer, which I think is contrarian for sure. Or you're like, okay, look, I don't like the whispers. Maybe you don't like the whispers.
Yeah.
Maybe the whispers suck, and that's fine. That's, you know, everybody's got their opinion, and
Right.
I'm not necessarily arguing that. But it's one thing to say they suck, and it's another thing to just ignore them entirely.
Like
And
they-
just
like
assume
they
that
had
they're going to have
no- yeah.
bearing on
Yes,
the
yes.
end of
Yeah.
the game, because clearly are a huge piece. And to say, oh yeah, it doesn't, none of that matters, like, I think you're missing
Yeah.
the point.
Yeah.
And to throw a bone to the purists, there are ways for them to pull this off very cleanly and satisfyingly and do both things of telling the original story while at the same time telling the meta narrative that's going on.
That's the tricky part, right? Because I feel like
is the
eventually
tricky
they
part.
have to break, but maybe they don't. Maybe they try to walk that line. I don't think it will be as effective, but you're right, Grass. I feel like that's what they've been doing all along, right? Where they're like OG 90%, then 10%. Whoa, you know, then OG, all the same stuff, all the things you remember but fleshed out, and then like then you go and then end of Rebirth, and it's like whoa, a little different, you know. So
And
who knows
I think
if
it
they do that.
depends too. Yeah, and I think it depends too on like, well, what does that necessarily entail? Ending it up the same? Does it mean that, you know, it leads into AC? Because the
Yeah.
game seems to suggest the world state at the end leading into that is not desired. And
Justin,
so
I don't want it. I don't want Advent Children to be the ending.
No, nor do
Yeah.
I, because
Yeah.
Advent Children sucked.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, from the perspective of like,
Sure.
you know, it's not a happy ending for anybody.
Right.
It's not.
That's
It's
not what
do
that's
you
not where I want my
remember-
characters to be.
Do you remember in Remake
Mhm.
when, and actually you guys are about to get back to this on your stream soon,
Mhm.
but in Remake, remember when Cloud's walking up to Genova and he's getting the visions, and which arm is he holding? Do you remember that?
It's his Geostigma arm.
It is.
Oh, cool.
I
See,
do.
they're incorporating a lot of the stuff from Advent Children. They're doing all that stuff. So is it like the idea like those things have already happened, or at least
Yeah, I
those-
mean, is that a
those
sequel thing? Is
influences
it
are-
some
yeah.
sort of weird continuity thing going
Yeah.
on where like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know if I necessarily buy into like a chronological sequel,
Sure.
but there is some weird play going on
Right.
with Advent. We see it. We see Advent Children directly referenced. We see
Yes.
Dirge of Cerberus directly referenced. They're bringing things in already. I think people sometimes get stuck on the chronology, but
Right.
you
I
know,
don't
if
think
there's
it
one
has to
thing
be
that
like this happened right after. Yeah. It could be happening in
Yeah,
parallel
yeah.
and like whatever. They don't have to explain. I mean, I want them to explain it, but I could get by on that, like understanding that it's just
yeah,
live stream shenanigans or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah. Devin Prince of Art says it would be pretty lame if the game ended up the same after they put in the Fate Ghosts, etc. I agree, Devin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I find, not everybody, but I've found a lot of people that want the OG hate them because I think that it just, yeah, it's that sentiment. It's like it would be lame if it ended up to be the very exact same game if they introduced this massive subtext about fighting fate.
Yeah.
And defying fate, and the fate that we see in the original compilation is not the fate that we should want.
Yeah, ironically,
Which
that
the
would
game
be
flat
like,
out tells you.
Yeah, ironically, that would be trying to like appease the purists, but they're already ticked off that you changed that much. That would be like, you're not making us happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'd be like, so who are you trying to appease? You know, just execute your vision. Don't worry about fan backlash or whatever. You know. Anyway, I got
Which they said they're doing, by the way. To
Yeah,
be clear, they
that's
have
right. They
said
did-
the
they have- you're
narrative
totally
is
right,
locked in,
Yeah,
has
and-
been locked in,
and it's
the
not been
feedback they're
influenced.
looking for
Yeah.
is not to influence the narrative.
Yes, I agree. But,
So Kyrie saves the world. That's what
Kyrie
we
saves
know.
the world. That's gonna be the
Confirmed.
thing. Hey, you know, it'll be a big swing. Good for them. Well, you guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging out with us and calling in.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having us on.
Always fun. Red Bank says anyone who hated Remake or Rebirth isn't going to be won over by Revelation. Totally. It's like they can't fix it. They can't say like, oh,
Yeah.
actually, we just none of that matters. We'll show you all the stuff you liked from OG and then be done with it. Because Red Barrington is someone who didn't like the changes in Remake and Rebirth, and he's not going to be like, even if they go back, they're not going to like it.
And that's, I think it's totally valid.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, again,
Sure.
like some people are not going to like the way that they've gone with the direction of this game. And I totally understand that.
Yeah,
And,
of course
know,
you would think that's valid.
Sure, but at the same time, it is not the same as the OG. They're very clear about that, and I suspect that because they're very clear this is not the same as the OG, it suggests that we shouldn't expect that we'll end the same as the OG.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Gotta run. You guys are awesome.
All right, man.
We'll do a call and stream
Take
again
care,
in
guys.
2 weeks. But I was gonna do a poll and say like, what should I stream next? But we can talk about it.
I was about to ask about that.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll talk about it on
6.
Discord. I might do 6. Yeah, I'm gonna like say have a few options.
6.
You guys want me to do 6?
I like 6. 6 is great. All right.
Cool, guys.
Take care, buddy. Thanks again.
Yeah.
See you guys.
All right, bye.
Later, guys.
Bye, all.
See ya. Thanks
Bye,
for hopping
stream.
in. Bye, Graphs. Bye, Mike. Czilla. We never got your real name. But I'll just call you Czilla. Later, Czilla. Later, Dustin.
Oh yeah, I was on the YouTube. I was Carlos. Yeah.
Oh, right on,
Okay.
Carlos. Nice meeting you, Carlos. Thanks for calling in, man. That was fun. Okay. Anyway, we'll be
Next time.
streaming. Yeah, Jolie and I are going to be streaming on Friday. So come check us out. We are in. What are we in? Chapter 14. Chapter 15? I don't know. We just got done doing all the side quests. So, yeah, we're in China, I think chapter 15. So we're making our way up to Shinra HQ. But that'll be us on Friday. And anyway, you guys rule. You're worth more than you know. We'll catch you in the next stream. Guys, peace.
Hello, how you doing tonight? I saw your face in the candlelight across the room, and I wanted to know. Yeah, I wanted to know. Well, I'm anxious to know if you dance with me. Put on those dancing shoes, grab my hand, let's dance. Let's get this ballroom rocking tonight. Clear the floor so we can do this right. We will dance till we got holes in our souls. Let's get this ballroom rocking tonight till the moon fades out and the sun's inside. We will dance till we hear a hello, are you doing alright? I am doing just fine. I could dance all night. Did you come along?